¿Ya? Ah, es que no alcanzo a ver tu mano. Listos. Buenas tardes. How's everyone doing? This is our day 3 of our color pencil week. And for today, I think yesterday I was saying how we could maybe start leaning towards more expressive outputs with our color pencils. We'll see how we do today. I think we could start with our subject matter, almost like giving us a tiny little shove towards the more expressive side. And I think I was saying yesterday or maybe the day before, Dani, ¿cuándo fue que pusimos el meme de Cristiano? So I'm asking Danny when we were referencing the Cristiano Ronaldo meme, like the body, the very muscular body with the very lanky arms. I was saying how I've been a fan of boxing for the longest time, and how it's kind of sad to me that some of the distortions that I was doing that were kind of mechanical, let's call them that. I mean, they were done in a virtual place. They were done with software, with Photoshop. But I was saying how sad I was to see that, the stuff that I thought that I was doing that was super inventive could be easily replicated. And, that kind of makes you think about style, or about where you are present in your own work. If it's something that's so easily recognizable and reproducible, let's say. But the fact that, the way in which I was solving those paintings could be iterated by other people doesn't mean that I don't like boxing, or that the urge to do those paintings wasn't real. My fascination with the human body and with form, with the limits of form, is very much so real. Like, that has always been a part of the things that I love. So I thought that for today, we could do like a really big, almost like colossal portrait of Tyson Fury. Danny and I both watched the bout. What was it? Sunday? Was it Sunday night? I think it was.
Yeah,
it was Sunday night, right? It wasn't Saturday night. It was Sunday night. And I don't think I had ever watched... No. We had watched the Mayweather... Yeah, and Conor McGregor fight at a bar
but that was a
years
long time
ago. Yeah, and that was a really bad fight, to be honest. But I think this was the first fight that Danny and I had watched. Danny's not like a super fan of boxing. She just doesn't like people hitting each other, just bludgeoning up each other. And I totally get it. I know that it's very primal. It's very primitive. Very, very violent. I just think that's when it's well regulated, when the rules are withheld, or not withheld, are when you comply by the rules in any sport, really, and those rules are meant to protect the people that decide to participate in those sports. I love sports. I love when the human body just really, really stretches to, parameters that we don't even understand. And so boxing to me has rules, has very specific rules. And if those, if those rules are well managed, you can watch a boxing fight and it can be beautiful. It can be absolutely incredible. And Danny got super excited, like mad excited. She was a Wilder fan. I was more of a Tyson Fury fan because I had watched the 2 prior fights. But she was rooting for Wilder because she was amazed how, somebody could get so beat up. And even though, like, Wilder knocked down Tyson Fury 2 times. Yeah. 2 times in a single round. So she was like, oh, my God, this is amazing. But then he was getting punched so bad. Yeah. And he was going down, but, standing right back up and trying to fight. It was incredible. It was, in that sense, it was an incredible fight. Danny got super worried.
Super invested.
Yeah, she was very invested, and she got super worried that that there was, probably, some sort of irreparable damage done to Deontay Wilder, which maybe, a boxer's life is also terribly tragic. So, it was really cool. I like that Danny enjoyed that fight, and I don't think he's the most elegant champion, the most elegant heavyweight, for sure. I grew up watching Mike Tyson, so I have a very, definitive idea of what an undisputed like heavyweight fighter is.
Yeah, because Fury was super nasty.
Yeah, he's just not. He's not a clean fighter. He just
No.
throws his body, and these are two giants, by the way. Wilder and Fury are absolutely massive. They're enormous. The thing is, you kind of lose the sense of perspective when you're watching them fight. But I remember Danny laughed when the referee was trying to separate them. That it was like impossible. It was like trying to move a truck.
Yeah, and he gave like little.
Slaps? Yeah, like slaps. He would try to slap the body, and but it was hilarious because they're enormous. They're absolutely enormous beings. So I think Fury was 18 kilograms more like heavier than Wilder.
Yeah.
And he was just throwing his weight. He would throw like a 1-2 punch, like 1-2 combination, and then he would just throw himself on top of Deontay Wilder, and he just. It was so tiring to watch Wilder just try to manage all that weight, trying to get all that weight, trying to get him not to just constantly lean into his body. That it wasn't like a pretty fight. It wasn't like great boxing, I would say, but it was very exciting. It was super, super exciting. So I was very happy. I don't know if that turned Danny into a boxing fan, but it was kind of cool that we shared that experience.
No, it was super good.
Yeah. But I am a boxing fan. I'm a MMA fan too, a UFC fan, and so I'm gonna take this opportunity to do hopefully a very Baroque-ish, if we can, version of Fury, of Tyson Fury. I was thinking of doing like a more bloodied up, because he's like a warrior. Again, these are like, I don't know, these are like mythical beings, to be honest. They don't feel human. They feel like, they have superior strength and a superior build, even though I have to say Fury has my body type, or I have Fury's body type. Like if there was one of those cloning machines, but for some reason it broke down and you could only get like maybe 40% of the original, information, I think I would be the broken down 40% info that you would get, with Tyson Fury. So we both have the same kind of bald head, same kind of semi-gingerish beard. Now that I'm looking at the beard, but yeah, I'm 40% of that. So I'm the very, very cheap version of that. But I wanted to draw Fury when he got like a super nasty gash. I mean, it would have been like a little too graphic, I feel, when he fought this. Where was Wallin from? I think he was Swedish. Otto Wallin. I mean, maybe there's boxing fans here that know. But I don't remember. But that was a really good fight. He actually had like a ton of trouble with Wallin. And Wallin, I think it was a left that cut him. And it was like, it's one of the nastiest cuts that you'll ever see in boxing. I mean, just a horrible deep gash on his brow. And he got 47 stitches, I think. I remember, if I remember correctly. It was terrible. Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. So, of course, me acting like a kindergartner, I was like, yeah, I got to draw that. I got to, that's what I want to draw. But he just fought Deontay. So I was like, no. Let's do the bearded Tyson Fury and try to find something that's pretty cool, like an expression that's pretty cool when he fought Wilder. So this is the one that we're working on for today. And I also thought that it could be very Baroque. I was thinking of Giuseppe Rivera, maybe. Like that's also somebody I'm thinking about. And I'm thinking about Kratos. That's for the people that like video games. Yeah, he looks like, God of War. He looks like Kratos. I mean, like an enormous Kratos. Kratos has like the build of like a Greek god. But this could be Kratos in retirement. With his dad bod. So Yeah, so it's a mix of those two. I'm fine with those two. If I think of Fury and if I think of Kratos, God of War, and Giuseppe Rivera, I think that's an awesome combination. I hope you guys or maybe some of you are interested in boxing. If you're not, don't worry. This is just going to be about expression. Then just think about it as an exercise in expression. So it's going to be kind of cool.
They're saying Tyson Fury is as big as a werecow.
I think yeah, he could be the farmer that turns into the werecow. That would totally make sense.
40% is still pretty good, and look at all that Fury channeled into art. And they're saying the off-brand Tyson Fury.
Yeah, but very off-brand, like way way off-brand.
Liad, Liad is asking who won the fight. Fury did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. It was the
yeah.
the 12th?
No, I think 11th
11th?
round. 11th round
Yeah.
knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
they
it
had.
was really good.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good fight. Like
Yeah.
if you paid for that fight, you got your money's worth. I feel.
How do you feel about MMA?
I like it too. I really like it too.
I haven't seen.
No, I don't think you've
MMA.
seen. Well, you saw that Conor McGregor fight when he was like
Yeah.
not really at the top of his game, but him just wanting to prove that he could box, which he couldn't, and they just threw a ton of money at his
Yeah,
face.
but I
And
saw them boxing.
yeah, but that
So-
was a very boring fight. Usually, Mayweather fights are boring. So
Did you practice any martial arts?
no. I tried to box for like a little bit, but just training and boxing. But I would, not even close to that.
Hola, Dani, Nicolás.
One of our friends, Gato, does jujitsu. So that's the closest. He's an incredible painter too. I'm gonna ask Danny to. We'll send him a shout out. So
Yeah.
to link his Instagram so you guys can check him out. But he does jujitsu, and yeah, Gato is like a tree. He's like, he's our friend that's like built like a boulder. So it's always good to have him around if you're gonna be in, if you're gonna get into trouble. Good to have him around.
I'm looking for the username. So it's Herman Tejes Art. So no, I can do it. Ya lo escribo, es que no puedo escribir y hablar.
No, tranquila.
They're saying, hola Dani, Nicolás, ¿cómo estuvo la olea ayer, Dani?
La de
Estuvo-
Dani, sí. Yo no como, pero.
Ayer, no, voy a ser sincera, ayer me comí 2 obleas
Ujú.
y ahorita antes de empezar me comí otra oblea.
El dilema de
me
ahorita
dice-
era si se hacía una doble
Porque me
o
echaste
una
al
sencilla.
agua.
O una sencilla. Se
Pero fue
demoró
por
5
sencilla.
minutos mirando a ver si se comía una oblea doble o una sencilla.
Have you seen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing okay, but Gian Galang's art? He does a lot of MMA artwork.
Oh, no, I haven't. I'm not familiar.
Hola, ¿lo harás en lápiz de color?
Sí, está toda esta semana. Vamos a trabajar con lápices de color. Voy a tratar de ser como un poquitico más expresivo de pronto pero de pronto vamos a ver con las decisiones de color que estoy tomando. Y normalmente lo que hago es tratar de comenzar con algo, como con un color como este medio rosa duraznito que estoy utilizando ahora para tratar de ubicarme un poquito, como ubicar las formas un poquito y después sí hago como una introducción ya más específica de otros matices que quiera poner ahí en el dibujo.
Rosalind says, I see the heart in boxing, but like Danny, it's hard to watch someone get hit. Yeah, but what Nicolas was saying is true. Like, if it's regulated, I'm fine with it. But for me, for example, I can't handle when people, I don't know, they go to a party and they begin to punch each other.
Yeah, or like
I-
street fights.
Yeah,
or,
I hate that. But I really enjoyed the fight. So yeah, but it was hard to see Wilder.
Yeah, he was getting beat
Yeah,
really
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, at the end,
Oof.
he was like a zombie.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was standing up, and he was getting like punch after punch after punch. Yeah.
it was incredible. I mean, in a very sort of worried way. Like, oof. And I was telling Danny, right, a couple of minutes ago that unfortunately those, boxing takes a toll on those athletes when they're older, and all the brain damage. It's the same with like rugby players or American football players. That it's very very sad, but all those hits, they take a toll when they're older, and they realize, wow, that the damage is now, like I said, like irreparable. So yeah, it's very tough, very very tough. I mean, I know that life is not about money or anything. Like, those things don't matter if you don't have any health. But a lot of these people, they come up from nothing, and the fact that they can see in boxing a way that they can take care of their family, of their kids, like future generations, because they get paid like crazy. I mean, this is like an absurd amount of money. That's where I sometimes lose respect for sports, and I'm a huge sports fan. I absolutely love competitive sports, but the money that football players get paid, the money that boxers get paid, like Floyd Mayweather money, that's like insane, or Canelo money, that's like crazy. The money that basketball players get paid, it's just, I don't know, it's just it's so out of proportion with how the rest of the world lives that I don't know. I just don't respect that. I think that you lose perspective. I know that they're earning their money, and they're literally many times putting their lives on the line just to earn that money, and they're willing to do it because, again, many of these athletes, they were very poor. They came from nothing, and they just understand that as a way to to finally become somebody. And yeah, it's pretty remarkable. But I do think that that many times it is just absurd, almost abstract amounts of money. Like, nobody in this world needs all that money. So I don't know.
They're saying MMA is safer for the participants, less brain damage, from what I understand.
Well, yeah, but if you've seen like some of MMA knockouts, oh my god, and they do. The refs seem to be somewhat more conscious of when to stop the fight, but sometimes there's terrible stops. I mean, refs are like absolutely horrible. Like, they should have stopped the fight like 10 punches earlier. So yeah, I thought, and I was telling Danny, I thought that Deontay Wilder should have stopped, like 2 rounds or 3 rounds before the 11th round.
Yeah, we were talking about that
Yeah, it
because
just
in the
oof.
timeout, I don't know if that's the name.
No, in between rounds.
Yeah, in between, he was so bad, so
Yeah,
so
like
bad. Like, he was
super
lost.
groggy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I mean, as a human feat of like just willpower, it's amazing. I mean, that's incredible. But you, at some point, you're like, okay, you've earned your money. Like, I don't know how much. I think he got like $20 million, Wilder, but that's like, it's enough. It's enough. Don't get hit anymore. Like, just leave it there.
Um, Rosalind says they are so big. Yeah,
They're
huge.
enormous. They are enormous. They're giants.
Yeah.
They're absolute giants. Like, I don't know what Tyson Fury's reach is, but it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He could hit you from across, like, the ocean. It's absurd.
Um, it says his reach is 85 inches.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. That has to be the heavyweight with the most, or the boxer with most reach. I don't even, because Anthony Joshua, no Usyk, for sure not. He's like a smaller guy. No, there's no way nobody comes close to that.
Um, um, when will you be back in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, yeah. I had a really good time. Bainbridge Island. That was a really strange place, but really beautiful. I was there January, February. Was it February or February, March, or was it
Yeah,
January,
no, it
February,
was
Danny?
no, it was February, March, because that was before the
COVID.
pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because I remember that you got here.
you brought COVID.
No,
I
no,
was
because
patient.
you didn't.
Colombia's patient zero.
No, because you didn't had COVID.
No, no, no. I'm
Yeah,
joking,
it's a
by the way.
bad joke.
I know it's alright. I apologize.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember that you got home and then we were on quarantine. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It was very nice. Bainbridge Island, super gray, tons of trees, like super hilly, tons and tons of trees, very nice. And I spent a couple of days in Seattle, and it was nice. It was different than what I imagined. I had never been to um, Pacific Northwest, but very nice, very nice. So yeah, hopefully if I get invited again to do a workshop or you know, or just or maybe to Portland, you know, because I've shown in Portland, but I've never been there. So it'd be nice to go to Portland. So
they're saying unintentional Ben Meredith.
right. I was also thinking of that. I was like, Ben is cut of the same cloth. Like, yeah. So if I'm like a 40%, I would say Ben is probably, what was it? Like 70%, 68%. 68%. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he's bigger than me. I'm like, you know, I'm not at all like a big dude. So
¿Cuál es su relación con el boxeo? ¿A qué se debe su interés?
no sé, yo creo que, bueno, en deporte porque a mí me fascinan los deportes y los deportes como competitivos me encantan. O sea, a mí toda la vida no solo me gustó el fútbol, sino que me gustaban todos los deportes y en colegio trataba de jugar voleibol, básquet, fútbol. Nunca era como bueno en nada, pero me gustaba poder jugar todo. O sea, para mí, yo soy de esa generación que era como, sentía que era súper importante poder patear un balón. Como saber patear un balón era como súper importante, que eso, honestamente, eso ya no importa y eso no tiene ninguna relevancia, pero para mí era muy importante eso. Yo además nadé, pues como toda mi vida jovencito. Nunca fui tampoco bueno, mi hermana era la que era una dura, mi hermana fue campeona como del Pacífico, era una dura. Eh, pero yo no hacía nada, yo entrenaba. Y boxeo siempre me llamó la atención, las peleas siempre me llamaban la atención. De pronto desde chiquito, yo me acuerdo que yo veía en televisión colombiana pasaban las peleas de Mike Tyson y las peleas de Sugar Ray Leonard, las pasaban súper tarde, súper tarde por la noche, como creo que incluso como en el canal 11. Y yo me acuerdo que mi papá se las veía todo el tiempo y me acuerdo yo quedándome despierto a ver las peleas con mi papá y se me hacía lo máximo. O sea, yo me estoy dando cuenta que muchas de esas cosas, como cosas que tienen que ver con fútbol, deportes o cosas así, las empecé como a disfrutar por mi papá. O sea, yo me daba cuenta que a mi papá le gustaban, entonces era como chévere, era como pasar tiempo con mi papá. Pero no, siempre me han gustado. Pero no, pero como espectador, o sea, yo nunca he sentido que yo hubiera podido ser un luchador o un boxeador o nada. O sea, en ese sentido yo no entiendo a mi cuerpo como capacitado para hacer algo así. No, para nada. O sea, yo puedo pegar un puño, pero no, nunca me ha llamado la atención a mí como meterme en un ring a ver si yo puedo pelear. Digamos que eso es en lo personal, pero y digamos que como artista, como pintor, me fascina como los límites de la forma, o sea, a los límites a los que llega el cuerpo del ser humano por tratar de ser como una máquina de poder dar y recibir golpes, o sea, eso se me hace fascinante. Yo sé que puede sonar un poco crudo eso, pero pues al principio estaba diciendo que si es un deporte regulado, o sea, que si hay unas normas y uno pues tiene que creer que esas normas están hechas para proteger al deportista, yo siempre voy a ser fan de eso, o sea, si de verdad esas normas se hacen cumplir y el deportista puede estar en la mejor medida, en la mayor medida protegido, pues yo eso lo entiendo como más ya una decisión personal del deportista de decir, yo quiero, o sea, quiero meterme a un ring a tratar de, como dentro de estas reglas, luchar contra esta persona. Eso a mí se me hace que es válido, se me hace absolutamente válido. Es que esa parte, o sea, esa reflexión para mí es súper extraña porque yo siempre pienso, o sea, hay mucha gente que dice, no, eso es barbarie, eso es una estupidez, o sea, es gente que le pagan millones por matarse, o sea, literalmente por llegar casi que a matarse en un ring y hay resto de gente como con sevicia aplaudiendo y, o sea, yo entiendo también esa parte, pero yo no sé, yo siempre he creído que el ser humano necesita de esos espacios. Esto suena de pronto un poco extraño, pero siempre he creído que nosotros, pues en últimas también somos, o sea, somos mamíferos, animales, somos cazadores, o sea, somos una cosa biológicamente, tenemos como que responder a esos impulsos así curiosísimos. Entonces, no sé, el otro día me estaba viendo un programa que decía que hablaba de la introducción de mamíferos a, digamos, ecosistemas donde no había mamíferos, que eran libres de mamíferos. Digamos que había insectos, reptiles, pero no había mamíferos. Y cómo la introducción de los mamíferos por cualquier persona que colonizaba esos territorios significaba un desbalance inmediato en todo, o sea, se acababan especies. Por ejemplo, yo no sé si te acuerdas que estábamos viendo, o yo estaba viendo ese programa que te conté como que en Hawái, yo no sé, es como el 80 y picho por ciento, o es como casi todas las especies que uno piensa que son nativas de Hawái, no son.
Sí, pero creo que
Fueron
te lo diste
traídas.
tú y me estabas
Sí,
contando,
que
sí, sí.
las trajo el ser humano en algún momento. Y muchos de ellos eran mamíferos que terminan acabando con todas las otras especies. Entonces yo no sé si nuestra maldición es ser mamífero. O sea, como que hay una naturaleza mucho más grande que es... Y con esto no quiero decir, es que somos, o sea, somos un asco o sea, de seres porque somos mamíferos, encontramos la justificación biológica del por qué somos una porquería. No, pero yo también pienso que hay como unas cosas que el ser humano, yo no sé, como que nunca podrá cambiar. En mis momentos más cínicos, yo siempre pienso eso, como que el ser humano es una especie finita y vamos a estar en la Tierra un poco de años, que va a ser pequeñísimos cuando son comparados como al de las otras especies, y ya. Y nuestra función fue, pues sí, en el sentido malo fue acabar con todo el medio ambiente y desbalancear el planeta y después tendrán que pasar como millones de años hasta que el planeta vuelva a como corregir su curso, pero también hicimos como música, hicimos pinturas, esculturas, arquitectura, nos inventamos maneras como de competir, no sé, de educarnos, nos preguntamos acerca del universo, de nuestros orígenes, o sea, cosas re chéveres. Entonces pienso que nuestro paso va a ser como, es como si estuviéramos destinados a ser una especie así toda fugaz y tener un impacto grandísimo sobre el planeta, pero que el planeta después va a decir, bueno, listo, ya se acabó, se acabó el turno de los seres humanos y pasarán millones de años y otra especie estará, digamos, habitando este planeta, ni siquiera reinando este planeta, porque yo no sé qué especie realmente reina este planeta. O sea, nosotros no vamos a estar en este mundo el tiempo que habrán estado los cocodrilos o los tiburones o algunas bacterias o algunas cosas así. De nuevo, mi lado más cínico, no quería traer como a todo el mundo. Sonó muy down eso, Dani, como muy bueno.
No,
¡Eh!
no, no, no. Pues
Sí. Tú me conoces, yo
sí, es
tengo
que
ese
tú
lado.
tienes a veces
Yo
ese
tengo
lado.
mi lado siempre como
Sí,
existencial,
sí.
que de nuevo no es que tenga que ser como, no es como que tenga que tener fe en el ser humano, sino como que digo, no, eso somos y pues quién sabe qué va a pasar, no sé.
Sí, pero a veces eres también todo lo contrario. Como que
Sí,
depende del día. No es
no.
molestando,
Soy
pero
esperanzador, pero hay veces sí me lleno de esperanza y hay veces me doy cuenta de lo que somos. Entonces,
dicen épica la entrada de Fury en la pelea contra Wilder y muy buena decisión retratarlo.
Sí, sí,
sí.
sí, sí.
Pero yo.
Ah, sí, ¿te acuerdas que entró súper, o sea, rarísimo?
Sí, sí.
Pues es que todas
Pero
las entradas,
los dos, incluso Wilder
sí,
tenía una pantaloneta que a mí me pareció súper chévere.
sí, entró
Pero es
así.
como.
Wilder entró como africano, pero como un guerrero africano así re
No, no,
chévere.
Fury.
No,
Fury.
Wilder, por eso. Wilder entró como un guerrero
Ah,
africano
ok.
así súper chévere con la máscara, que
Ujú.
él se pone máscaras.
Sí.
Y Fury que ha entrado como un rey, porque él es Gypsy King, como
Con
el.
gente además bailando alrededor.
Sí, el
Sí.
mancito que empezó a bailar al comienzo me dio fue como risa.
Sí.
El que se estaba como contorsionando bailando al comienzo era
Sí,
como
sí, sí.
chistoso.
Um, do you plan on doing any workshops in Texas in the near future?
Near future, I haven't been asked because I know I did, and you can check them out with Atelier Dojo. I think that's in Austin. That atelier is in Austin. I did one workshop with them. They're super cool. The women that are in charge of that atelier are incredibly talented, super super cool. But I haven't. I mean, post pandemic, it's. I'm hoping that things can get a little bit better so that we can get back into the rhythm of going to and planning workshops in places that are awesome. But I think it just took a really big toll on workshops and ateliers, and it's super sad. It's super sad that a lot of these places that obviously not only the people that are the organizers, but all the instructors that were tied to those workshops, they suffered tremendously. So it was very very sad to see that. Um, that's not the case with just this particular atelier in Austin. That's the case everywhere. It was very sad to try and see these places that are, again, they are the people that are the directors, the people that are behind them, that work super super hard so that there's constantly classes and workshops throughout the year. They can offer classes and interesting workshops throughout the year. They had to go through a ton of trouble to try to keep those places open and afloat. So I'm always going to have respect for them. So we were thinking of doing a physical workshop um, with Townsend Atelier, with Peggy and Stan at the end of the year. But because everything was so, everything is so ever changing in terms of COVID and restrictions, and especially restrictions that Colombia has, um, that uh, that I'm always like, I don't know, let's wait and see if when things just settle down like a little bit and we have some sense of consistency, in terms of what they ask of Colombians when we have to travel. But yeah, I had to go through a ton of hoops to do the workshop in Rome, and that went super super well. But yeah, it's not easy at all. So let's hope that next year we can get back to some sense of normalcy, in the sense of that these were the things that we knew, like we were familiar with, and that we want to get back to. So hopefully. But if you guys are in Austin, or if you guys are in the Austin area, I know that Houston would maybe be a little bit too far away for that, but check Atelier Dojo out, because they offer really cool workshops, really cool classes. All the painters that are tied to that workshop, that have worked there, are really really talented. So I always give kudos to the workshops that I've been to, because they're at least the ones that I've been to, they're just chock full of really really hardworking people. So
I wonder how Nicolas feels about using brayer, printing rollers, or other unconventional tools in oil painting.
wow, ¿qué es, Linda?
No,
Could you show?
brayer son printing rollers, por eso.
Okay,
No,
okay.
yes.
Like etching rollers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never used them. No, I've never used them, but I think I've seen people use them, and they get these really nice kind of flat shapes, as if you had like a huge palette knife. That's pretty cool. Actually, that sounds really really cool. I just don't. Yeah, I don't have. You know what it is? Now that I tried to answer this coherently, um, I think at some point I just tried to minimize the variables in my painting practice. So instead of thinking like, oh, I want, and maybe the options that you have in terms of expressive quality of a stroke that you put down or a mass of color that you put down with one of those rollers are super cool. Like maybe you can get things. No, for sure you can get things that you can't really get with other manners of applying paint. But I told myself I'm gonna sacrifice all those things just to pay attention to my painting, to like the fundamental aspects of my painting. And I think that that's what I ended up doing. So, so yeah, I mean, those are very interesting ways of putting down paint. And for me, they're just the same as a brush or a palette knife. They are just tools, and it's awesome when people use those tools well. But yeah, I don't. I've tried to teach myself to use whatever I need, and if I don't feel like I need it, or if I don't feel like my painting needs it, then I'm like, yeah, I'll pass on this. I just feel like it's not necessary for now. So
How much money would it take for you to take a punch of Mike Tyson? Another
no,
of my son's famous question. My
yeah,
answer: I wouldn't do it.
no, I
I
wouldn't
would.
do it.
It would kill me.
Yeah, I think he would. And if you're talking about prime Tyson, oh no, never, never. No, that's not even possible. That I wouldn't. I would never consider that. He could kill you with a punch for sure. Like that. That's not even like that's not even debatable. That's just fact. No, no, no. No amount of money. Maybe if I was like 95 years old.
No.
Yeah, 95. I've led like a super full life.
And
Like I'm super
but
old.
if you're
And
95,
I asked Tyson, and he's willing to give me like $10 million for like a punch.
but it's not for
And
you.
I'm like, okay, kill me. And then I'd leave $10 million to you. That's awesome.
For me?
Well, yeah, you could spend that.
No, I don't want to.
No,
No, I
not
want
even when
you.
I'm 90.
No.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know.
No,
That's very nice. Thank you. I would do it though.
no. Oh yeah, right now.
No, 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 90,
No, it's okay.
90.
No, decía que lo harías conmigo. O sea, que me dieran el puño a mí.
No, ¿qué te pasa?
No,
No,
además
no,
yo.
no, no, no. They would.
Yo creo que.
No, Mike Tyson would sneeze and kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny's like too little. She's like petite
Yeah, I'm
build.
super petite. I
So-
think if he, like, with his pinky.
No, not
If he-
no.
yeah.
Sneeze, like a sneeze.
¿Cómo se dice hacer así?
Flick, like a little flick.
Yeah, if he flicks me, he can.
If he
like,
flicks
break
me, that sounds kind of weird. And there's nothing wrong with that, but
he
just
can
sounds
break
weird. It just
my
sounds
ribs,
weird.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever thought about running an art workshop in Colombia for people outside of Colombia, like the Rome workshops? I've never been to Colombia, but I think it would be a fantastic trip and would love to take a Nicolas workshop. I suspect the dollar conversion would make it cheaper than Rome. Still want to go to Rome though.
Oh yeah. I mean, in terms of economy, for sure. I mean, one of the reasons that makes it possible that we do what we do is the fact that we're, earning dollars and spending Colombian pesos. That's for sure. I mean, a lot of people have already noticed that's one of the reasons that we're able to that's one of the reasons why our model just lets us have some sense of living. And because sometimes Americans say, well, I wouldn't be able to live with that amount of money. Like when I told people, like I never made in teaching, I wouldn't make $1,000 a month. with my teaching salary at the university. And when you say that, a lot of people are like, "What are you talking about? That's not even minimum wage." And yeah, but in terms of if you take into account exchange rate, then it would be good. As far as the workshop, well, I could say, I mean, I love my country. I absolutely love my country. I love my city. But yeah, I wouldn't. And I've been lucky enough to travel. I'm not going to say all over the world, but I've traveled to a lot of places around the world. And I would never say, I mean, again, I love my city. That's the reason we're here. We
Yeah,
love it.
but Bogota is not Rome.
Bogota is not Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bogota is not Rome. That's for sure. We used to be called. Do you know that? Did you know, Danny, that I think Bogota was called the Athens of South America at some point in the I don't know 20th century. The Athens,
Yeah,
la Atenas de
no.
Sudamérica.
Yeah,
Creo
for
que
being
sí.
super generous.
Yeah. So no, it's a beautiful country. So if the thing is in Rome, you can just look out your window and you have history outside. So you don't need much. Like honestly, you could go to any street and you could just be blown away by whatever you find in any street. Like there's a sense of the history of Western culture right there in front of you. In Bogota, it's absolutely beautiful. Like Colombia is beautiful, but you have to make it a point to go to trips to very specific places so you can you can have a sense of what it means to come to Colombia. But I would never tell you like, oh, every corner of our city is absolutely beautiful. Like it's just a photograph. It's a postcard waiting to be, shot with your camera. No. But it is a beautiful, beautiful country. So
Yeah.
in that sense, it would be very nice, but it would be very difficult. Like logistically, it would be super, super difficult to organize something like that. And to be honest, I'm gonna leave that organizing to the people that do guided tours. And I think that if you've never been to Colombia, just let us take one of those tours and let us know. And if you're in Bogota, just let me and Danny know, and we'll gladly meet. And we'll definitely hang out. How's that?
Yeah, we can go to Montserrat.
Yeah, no, we can show you around, and that's super cool.
Yeah.
But as far as having like that immense responsibility of saying, oh, I have to, deal with the well-being of 15 people that are going to come here
Yeah.
to do a painting workshop, and I also have to, walk around with them and travel around with them and show them around this beautiful city. No. We're not equipped to do that. I can tell you right now.
Hey guys, have any of you struggled with posting your work online? Do you guys have any tips for beginners that are scared of putting themselves out there?
Do you want to start with that, or I'll start? Not that I'm not scared.
No, yeah, but
But
you know that we talked about that the last time
Right.
because I am that type of person that always like overthinks posting something, and that's
your
also
your dog was amazing, by the way,
Thank you.
though.
No, yeah, but I sometimes do things and I don't know why. Like I get overwhelmed before posting them. Like if posting means I don't know. Because I mean, if you post something online, you're just showing it to more people and that doesn't make it a good painting, a bad painting, a good drawing, bad drawing, nothing. I mean, it's just online. But for me at least, it's super hard to post something. Like if you go to my Instagram, I was doing that with Nicolas, I think yesterday, and we saw that I had a post maybe like some months ago, and the last one was on April 2020. So yeah, I'm terrible at that, but I'm just trying to like to ¿cómo se dice? Como quitarle el peso. Como, yeah, to let the
Um,
weight of that
Sí, navégalo, navégalo.
No,
No, es que yo tampoco me...
yeah, like I want to be able to post and not overthink posting because it doesn't have that real weight that I'm putting onto it. Like I'm just overthinking and overthinking and like people don't care.
Like to lessen the burden, I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or unburden yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's a
So
good one.
yeah, I think, and maybe the tip is just post and post and post, and maybe at the beginning you're super scared, but I mean at the end it's fine, and it's fine if no one likes it, or maybe you get the surprise and a lot of people like it, and that's super cool. So yeah,
Yeah, I think Danny expressed it perfectly. I would just say, Danny, could you do me a favor, by the way?
yeah.
Could you check and see if I have this little, if
Then-
we have a new one of this little guy? I don't even know what number it is.
Okay.
It's like
No,
a
if you
raw
put it-
sienna.
If you put it on camera, I can see it better. Because
Yeah, it's like a raw sienna.
okay.
But no, I think Danny put it perfectly. The only thing that I would add is that we have to stop to believing that likes validate what we do. No.
No. El que más se parece, mira, está en esa caja tuya.
Uh,
No, más a la derecha, ahí.
no, this.
Antes.
Yeah, no, that's an orange.
Este.
No.
No?
No. So let's try to, or maybe I could do it with a knife, but I'll do that in a little bit. I'll sharpen it with a knife, but yeah. So I was saying how we shouldn't really believe that validation comes from any of these social media or any of these tools or any of these sort of interactions, because that's where the unhealthy part begins, I feel. First and foremost, I feel that we have to do things for ourselves, and not in a selfish way, but for ourselves in the sense that we want to, grow from the experience that we're having, through painting or through drawing or through sculpting or through whatever creative endeavor that we have. In that sense, we have to answer to ourselves first and foremost. And if we feel satisfied, and if we say, I'm going to, I feel so satisfied that I'm going to try and share this with people, even if it's even if you don't get feedback, like feedback in the sense that you're expecting, or in the character that you're expecting that feedback to be. If you convince yourself that it's totally fine, then you can just be okay with it, and you can teach yourself to be okay with you posting something and your mom is the only person that says, oh, that's wonderful. That by the way is my mom. My mom is always going to be like, oh my God, this is so good. Like I can always, yeah, I can always count on her. We can always count on our mothers. But the rest just doesn't matter, really. It just doesn't make sense to give. I think I've talked about this before, but to grant institutions, or to grant, again, social media or like algorithms, so much power over your life, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you want to do that? Like, why would you just give that away to these kind of entities? So I'm, first and foremost, I'm the one who's going to always decide if what I did was worth it, and worth it not in the sense that, if it was worth painting or worth drawing. No, worth it in the sense that, wow, I was able to gain so much, information from what or collect so much information, so much useful information from this experience, that suddenly this experience now is invaluable to my growth. That is where I found worth. That is where I always find worth. Never in likes, never, I'm going to say this in the best way possible. And trust me, and I think Danny knows me, but I never, ever care about those things. Never, ever. We've never, ever, thought about posting something or doing something based on, oh, we're doing well with these sort of images. Or I think you guys have seen our project. Like, it's super capricious. Like, there are weeks that don't make sense. Like, I painted Ernie in a bathtub. Like, that's how stupid, I'm willing to, to go with my painting, saying, I painted that in the same week. I think I painted Freddy Rincon, like a Colombian football player, scoring against Germany in Italy 1990, because it was important for me. But I could care less if any of those paintings find echoes, or people find them attractive, or people want to buy them, or like that. To me is just nothing. There's no relevance to any of that. Like, those questions don't even creep into my brain when I'm thinking about painting something. And I think that's very liberating when you just tell yourself, no, this has nothing to do with other people. First, I mean, it's going to be cool socializing what I do with other people. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. Sure. And, in many ways, art has to be socialized. So that's when art really, really activates itself, when it's socialized. But it doesn't, like, that's not the end goal of what you're doing. That doesn't have to become the end goal of what you're doing. So yeah, teach yourself that you're going to put it there and just not care. If you want to teach yourself not to care, don't even check it. Don't even check how many people liked it or not. Just keep posting.
Yeah, but
yes.
I wanted to say that, for example, in my case,
Mm-hmm.
I get super nervous, and it has nothing to do with the likes, but with feeling like vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I can draw or paint or whatever, but posting it feels like letting people into the process that I'm having. So, at least in my case, that is the hard thing. Not the likes or not anything of that, but like pressing the post. Yeah, like
Opening
pressing
up
the
that,
like
that, opening that door to.
no, like taking like doing the decision, taking the decision to post it, like feeling vulnerable in that moment while I'm posting. So I don't know if the person that asked feels the same, but yeah, it's like feeling scared of letting yourself out there for the people to see or to talk or to not talk at all, but like putting yourself out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's always. But if you think about it, and I totally agree with you. If you think about it, that's part of almost everything that we do. That is, when you have a group critique, or when you have a show, or when you have anything. Yeah, that's the feeling that precedes that show, or that critique, or that presentation of your work. Oh wow, it's almost unbearable. It's that first moment where you're gonna, you open the floodgates to criticism, or to people not caring, or to people not getting it, or to or no comments at all, to receiving nothing, like no feedback at all, which has to be probably be worst of all, that people are not even moved in that sense.
Yeah, they're saying exactly. It's hard to share yourself. They say de acuerdo con Dani. Yes, Danny, that's how I feel about posting. Also, the feeling like my work is not a level I'm proud of yet. Yeah, that happens to me too. So, I I know what you're saying. So yeah, but just try to post. I mean, at least that's what I'm trying to do from now on. Just post the things you're doing. Like in your head, everything is worse that it's like that it really is once you post that you're doing. And also it helps me to think that I have to post or to show people, because I think that maybe in some time it's gonna be like a lot more bearable to post things. Like now I am super scared, but that's because I never post. So if I give myself the opportunity to post more, then like that. ¿Cómo digo? ¿Cómo es? No, no sé cómo es.
Miedo, o ese.
Sí, no, sí, como
sentiment, that
No,
feeling
yeah,
that.
like that thing that you feel, like that scare that you're feeling. You're not gonna feel it that much because now you're used to posting a lot more regularly. So yeah, um, and that also happens to me when I speak in English. I want to let you all know. I don't know why I get so nervous, and I was talking with Nicolas about that. Like I can have a conversation with someone, but now that we're streaming, I don't know why I get so scared, and it's like I forget every word. Like yeah, my brain just is blank
You,
always.
you guys should let her know that she's doing an amazing job, because I
No,
think
no,
that.
I'm red right now. Like yeah, I feel like in the Simpsons chapter when Homer has the clapping. Um, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. I feel like that. They're saying if you're in a group critique, it's horrible when there's almost no feedback. I've been there.
I'm trying to use my tiny little knife to sharpen this, but this is the last one that I have of these, and I kind of need it for the beard. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I'll let Danny talk for like half an hour until I sharpen this
no,
one.
no, and I wouldn't like say anything.
Or you're gonna die.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
the last time we
Heart
see and
attack.
hear of Danny, but.
Um,
No, Linda, me estoy muriendo con esta cuchillita.
no, y yo hablando. Tranquilo, estamos igual, estoy
Pero, ¿sabes? ¿Me puedes, sí? ¿Me puedes, y te doy un break? ¿Me puedes hacer me prestas el bisturí?
Sí, pero ¿sabes qué?
Dime.
Puedo mirar, es que no sé dónde los tengo, pero yo tengo unos lápices.
O
Que no
sabes,
son
en
de
el
los
otro, no
acuarelables,
son
sino
acuarelables, yo los tengo ahí en el...
¿La de la caja negra?
No, hay otra caja de estas.
¿En dónde?
Ahí también, creo, si no
Ahí
estoy
está,
mal.
¿dónde?
En el cajón, en el primer cajón.
No, you're all too kind. They're saying that my English is
Perfect, it's better than mine.
No. Yeah, but I was telling Nicolas that I feel like I'm a lot more dumb
No,
in
ay.
English. Yeah, but that's true because I can find the words. So yeah, but thank you.
I'll tell you a story. I've told this to Danny. I remember when I first went to New York, like I knew how to speak English, but I didn't know how to like converse, you know, like how regular people talked in English. So my English was just from like English class, but I didn't really know how people talked. So I remember first time, I remember this like as if it was yesterday. This dude in class goes like, "Hey dude, what's up?" And he just says, "What's up?" And for like 5 seconds in my brain, I was like, fuck, I don't know how to answer. How do you answer to what's up? Like, what do you say in response to what's up? And all I could come up with was good. So I remember that guy looking at me like saying, oh, you're clearly stupid because you can speak English, but you have no idea how to answer. Like, you have no idea how to communicate. And after that, I was like, okay, this is so not. No. So we're still looking for this guy on my other, tin of color pencils, but I don't have it. So my what's up good was a very cool way to begin my my SVA story. So I would get that constantly. People never realized, and because I don't know what people think Colombians look like, but when they would see me, they would see just like a pink American white dude, and they would never think that I was Colombian. There was no way that I could be from any other country. And when they would hear me speak, they would say, "Yeah, you're kind of American. You stutter a lot, or you just have to fumble for your words a lot, but you're American." And but then I would get expressions wrong or words wrong, and I would get these looks from people that had no idea that I was Colombian, being like, "Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what was that? What are you trying to say?" or that the simplest of words, you just can't find them. Sometimes like that happens to me all the time. Just the easiest of words, you're like, what the hell is it that I'm trying to say? And Danny says Danny's a huge fan of Modern Family.
Yeah.
And she loves Gloria. And I think Gloria says, like, if you guys could see how intelligent I sound in Spanish.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you wouldn't make fun. So that's
Yeah. They're saying.
Although we do speak in Spanish here, so we can't fool
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And we.
We sound as
Yeah,
stupid in
we're dumb
Spanish.
No, thank you, everyone. I'm reading the comments and you're being super kind. Thank you. And I think, as with posting online, I'm gonna get better by having a lot more.
2023.
Yeah, 2033.
I'm going to be 90 by then, so you should consider the Mike Tyson punch.
No, never.
You could say yes to him in perfect English.
No.
Yes, punch him, please.
No, never. A question for both Nick and Danny. What's one of your favorite experiences at a fair, carnival, or amusement park? Roller coasters.
Yeah, Danny loves roller coasters.
Yeah.
And I used to be really bad at them when I was younger. But I realized, the thing is, I realized that I get, ¿cómo se dice? Drowsy? No, como...
Dizzy?
Dizzy, like,
dizzy?
yeah. Like, I could puke super easily. Like, super, super easily. I've had to step out of buses, for example, in my life, because the bus ride was so terrible that I've had to, like, step out and just, sit on the street for like half an hour until I gained like my legs again. So I have like no sea legs, for example. Oh my God, I would puke like instantly. So for me, it was hard. Even though I really enjoy roller coasters, it was hard initially, but now you know what I do? I take 2 Dramamine or 2 Mareol, which is like which is like for sickness, for motion sickness, and that's probably good for what, like 10 hours maybe?
Yeah.
8 hours, 10 hours. And
you can stand the whole day.
Yeah. But we both really like it. We both actually really, really enjoy it. But yeah, I've had experiences in my life where my day at the fair or whatever we were, it could be Six Flags or Busch Gardens or whatever, wherever we're going for rides, was absolutely ruined because of one stupid ride. For example, I still remember the one I took, I think it was on Six Flags, a Joker ride. Oh, forget it. Oh my God, it was horrible. It was freaking horrible. So I can't deal with 2 things kind of moving at the same time. Like, if you're just going up and down in the coaster, or like, if you're doing like 360, and that's awesome. Like, that to me is like amazing. But if you're going this and you're also going that way, like if it just turns as if you're dropping, oh, forget it. Good night. Like, I'm dead. I'm totally dead.
Yeah, but if it's just like speed.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we did a trip 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to be, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years
like
ago.
almost to the date.
Yeah.
It's crazy how time just flies. But we went to Florida to like parks, and this is a very, very South American thing, I would say. But we are fascinated by like parks, like amusement parks. And so people will travel, people from South America, from Brazil, for example. Oh, you always see like, thousands of people from Brazil going to like Disney or to Universal or Six Flags. We just love those things because we don't have those things here. We have nothing.
No,
we do.
Oh, and we went to one here.
Yeah, on our one of our first dates.
No, that wasn't. No.
It was we were
like 2 years.
Oh no, we were. No, it wasn't like 2 years.
First date.
No, it wasn't like. But it wasn't like 2 years. It was early. I'm gonna make this compromise. It was early, but it was never like the first 2 years. It was like earlier than
No,
that,
no,
way
no.
earlier. But we went to a park here in Bogota. That is, it's good. It's good.
No,
It's actually
I
good.
agree.
I'm not gonna say it's not. It's not good. It's actually,
Salitre Mágico, it's
yeah.
called.
It's actually really good. But to give you an idea, we went into a coaster
Oh,
where
but the old coaster.
it
You
was a
have to clarify.
yeah, it was a very old coaster. Well, there's only old coasters here.
No, because the one that
The
has
yellow one was,
bubble.
yeah, that one was, but that one was closed. Uh,
No.
la
Ah, yeah,
amarilla,
yeah,
sí,
yeah.
la
Pero
grande
la
la
roja
está.
no. Y
No,
esa
pero
es amarilla.
la verde,
¿Verdad?
que tú ibas sin cinturón.
Sí, pero a ver, explica.
Yeah. So in this one, it was just like a little cart where there was just like an empty. It was like a luge cart where you would just kind of sit down and the other person would lay back and they would have to put their legs like around you. So the sort of ride that you can't really ride with a stranger, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so Danny's seatbelt wasn't working. It wasn't working.
Yeah, and I told the person that was in charge, and they were like, "Oh, he just have to hold you." And I
Yeah.
was like, "What?"
He just told us,
It
yeah, just hold her,
started.
just hold her
Yeah,
like,
hold
yeah,
her tight.
hold her
And I was
tight.
like, what? Yeah.
And this was a coaster.
Yeah.
This is literally a coaster. So if we can describe what a coaster feels like in Colombia, that's a perfect description.
And I
Just
was-
hold her tight.
Yeah, but and it was super funny because I was happy and I was enjoying it, but you were terrified.
Because you were slipping.
Yeah, because I
You were
was so
slipping.
excited
And I had to
about it.
squeeze you with my thighs. So, because Danny's very small.
Yeah.
But and so all I could see was just Danny flying out of the coaster if it wasn't for my thighs, and my thighs are not super powerful. I have like I have like a sick person's leg. It's like chicken legs. So, I would never bet on my legs, on my thigh strength, on a coaster. So
Yeah, but it was fun.
it was really fun. I mean, we were laughing by
Yeah.
the end, but we were like, yeah, we almost died. Well, you almost died.
Yeah, me. But it wasn't that high.
It's a coaster. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking for pictures of the coaster, but it looks old.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Yeah, well, it's not the
It's like if
wood.
you were like demolished, like it's not like a Coney Island wooden.
No,
um,
and Disney had a wood roller coaster that was awful because I remember that you were in the car,
Mhm.
cart or whatever, and you felt every movement.
Yeah, that's how
No,
those
that
feel.
was horrible.
That's like the Coney Island one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was so loud also. Like
Yeah, you always hear
even-
the taka taka taka
yeah,
taka
yeah,
taka.
it was awful.
But having said that, we really like it.
Yeah.
We really like. We are the sort of people that we've already like. We don't have the money to do it right now, but or the time to do it, to be honest. But we are the sort of people that are like, okay, for 2022, we need to plan like a Busch Gardens trip
Yeah.
or two.
Yeah, because 2 years ago we couldn't go to Busch Gardens.
No,
It's
no, no,
my
we couldn't.
favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Dicen Busch Gardens es lo mejor y los parques aquí en Bogotá dan más miedo porque uno no sabe si le hacen mantenimiento, jaja. Y
No,
es
esa
más
palabra,
extremo,
esa palabra no existe. Sí, extremo sí
y
es.
es más
Diversión
extremo
extrema.
porque las cosas que lo sostienen a uno se mueven resto.
Son como
Sí, sí, sí.
tornillos y curas. Cinta son pegasticky etiquetas.
Yeah, they're saying good that you held onto her. The roller coaster story is killing me. I'm so glad your chicken legs could keep Danny safe.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I would never bet on them.
Yeah. And I remember that I told him that we should ride it again, and he was so mad.
We only rode it once though.
Yeah.
We rode the other one like 4 times though.
But I think I liked it because I didn't have the bell, so it moved like 10 times. It was 10
I know,
times
but I
more
don't have the
extreme.
leg strength to
Yeah.
like keep you, stable for, another time.
Yeah, but that's just one roller coaster because the other one they have 2 more, and one was we rode in one and it was
Mhm.
fine, and the other one, the one that's the cooler of them 3 was closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eh, mm, um, have you been to Hershey Park? It can combine Danny's love for chocolate and roller coasters. No, where is it?
Pennsylvania, maybe?
Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, that's where the factory,
yeah.
that's where the...
Mira.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
looks
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah. Junk food plus... now you know what you're puking when you throw up
Oh,
after
that's
after a
amazing.
coaster.
And you know, Nicola's son would love that, and her daughter too, because they love eating candy. So if we go the four of us, that would be great. Like for us three, I don't know for you,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah,
I'll just watch you guys
yeah,
like gain weight.
yeah, and puke. um, they're saying chocolate puke. Here we come.
Yeah. Great for me.
um,
I've already dealt with enough, puking on me stories with my kids. I don't want that as an adult. So
Deberías contarlo de...
no.
No, lo
Ah.
de cuando pusiste mal en el mapa.
Oh no.
Eso es muy colombiano. Uno le dice Walt Disney.
No. We'll not embarrass ourselves anymore.
So I'm looking for more questions.
I got like super invested in the nose, and I still have ways to go. I still think that I could do so much more with the nose. I don't know why I find it so important to almost like start with a nose. It just, if I'm doing a portrait, it's just like smack in the middle of a face, and it has so much structure that I just feel like, like I need to, like it needs to be super structured.
¿Qué despierta más su atención, la forma o el color a la hora de pintar, de ver su obra en general?
100% forma, 100%. Yo creo que en estos días he dicho que si, o sea, yo, digamos, históricamente nunca hubiera sido como un impresionista, un pintor impresionista. Hubiera sido como los tonalistas, que son pintores que son no tan conocidos porque la mayoría de los tonalistas eran como de escuela estadounidense. Pero son pintores que... Es que estoy buscando un color y si no lo encuentro me pierdo. Eran pintores que, digamos, priorizaban muchísimo más lo que pasaba en términos de valor tonal a lo que sucedía en color. No quiere decir que el trabajo de color no fuera relevante, pero pues sí era obvio que... como que cuando uno veía las jerarquías de la pintura uno se daba cuenta que no tenían que ver con el color. Entonces sí, definitivamente yo me interesó muchísimo más por la forma y por encima de todas las cosas, de cualquier otra variable que podría haber en mi pintura o en mis dibujos. 100%. A mí me fascina la forma. O sea, yo tengo adoración por la manera como uno puede interpretar la forma en un espacio bidimensional, ya sea pintando, dibujando, eso me encanta.
There's only one Tyson Fury. Great subject today. Loved your La Mota from the other day too. Have you seen Steve Houston's boxer?
Oh yeah.
They're
So
great.
I was saying, I've said this before, but so big influences on some of my boxing paintings for sure are when I went to school in 95 to 99. So Steve Houston was showing at, I think it was at Eleanor Edinger Gallery at that time, and he was showing those boxing paintings, and they were fascinating. I mean, I had no idea when I was younger. Of course, I had no idea who Steve Houston was. And I remember just walking through Soho and seeing one of I even remember which was the painting the first time I saw it. He had those one of his first boxing shows, and I remember seeing the the window of the gallery with that painting, and me saying like, "What the hell is this? This is so cool." And the reason that I found it so cool was that I one of my favorite paintings ever has always been the George Bellows boxing painting, and I know there's a couple, but and I also had one of my favorite comic book covers ever was a Phil Hale boxing painting for sure, like 100%. So for me, the mixture of those three kind of moments was just magical, was just absolutely magical. And it wasn't until later that I realized, oh, I'm going to try to do some of these boxing paintings. I don't even remember how they came to be honest. I don't even remember why all of a sudden I said, I mean, it wasn't like a sudden thing in terms of, oh, I'm going to decide that I like boxing now. No, I've always, like I said, I've always been interested in boxing as a sport. I think I find it fascinating. But as subject matter, yeah, it took me a long time. I think I realized that maybe unconsciously I was like thinking, well, if I can't say anything that Steve Houston says better, or if I can't say anything that George Bellows, even though I think George Bellows said it best, better than, Phil Hale or better than Steve Houston. I think Steve Houston's are like just these celebrations of form, kind of strength and form. Like Steve Houston loves like a freaking, enormous forearm. He just loves that stuff. He lives for that stuff. And he's built like that too. So Steve Houston is a pretty kind of thick dude. Like he's got like guns for arms, but not me. I mean, look at this pale like stick of an arm. But I think that Bellows did it best, maybe better than Phil Hale, and I absolutely adore Phil Hale. So this is me saying it. Could you look for that painting, Danny? Just maybe Google Phil Hale cover boxing, and maybe that's where you're gonna find it. It's like a Vertigo cover.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Do you want me to put
Yeah.
it on
If you could
screen?
share it with
So-
everyone. So that to me is like one of the coolest like covers I ever saw in comic books, and I guess I told myself, yeah, don't like this is if a talented artist is gonna speak about boxing, it has to be those guys. Like it's not gonna be you. And I always kind of convinced myself that I was never going to have anything interesting to say about it. And I guess at some point I was like, you know what? F this. Like what Danny was saying, like you have to post. Like just do it. You have to paint it. Just do it, and then you'll figure out like what you're trying to say, or you'll figure out if it was worth it or not. But if you feel this need to do it, and it's an honest need, then do it. Do it. It doesn't matter. So I started doing my paintings. I think all in all, I did about... ¿Cuántas pinturas de boxeadores tengo? Como 6, 7, 8, por ahí. Como sí, algo así.
Sí, como 7.
Yeah, I ended up doing like 8 paintings, maybe. And I really enjoyed them. Danny actually, here in Bogota, we actually went to the house of a collector that has one of the larger ones.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible house. And I didn't know he had
was super
one of those.
nice.
Yeah, he was super cool.
Yeah.
And he had kind of like the last large one that I did, and it looked really great. I mean, his house was like this incredible house.
Yeah. And his collection of
his collection
art?
is ridiculous. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But so it looked cool. Very happy. I've always wanted to do it. I don't know what a show that I would do. Like if I could just push myself to do a bunch of paintings where I would try not to, I guess I was going to say try not to repeat myself, but I guess that's not the issue. The issue would be just pushing myself constantly. I would love that. I would love one of those shows. I think that would be like a killer show. But I don't have anything like that planned. That would take a lot of time and effort for me to do that. And it would be very scary too. I don't know if we have like the the safety net, like the money, to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna work for like 2 years to put together a show, um, without, and I have like 2 years worth of savings that we can live off from. I don't think I have that anymore. So no, I'm not gonna say I don't think I do. I absolutely know that I don't have that. So yeah, I have to figure out how to do like a large show, how to put together a large show again. Because since I broke my rhythm and I'm not working that way, I just don't have the again, like the safety net, the backing, the financial backing to say I'm going to put my earnings on hold for, this amount of time. Like I'm not going to earn any money from doing anything other than just preparing for these paintings. Oof, that's like a super scary thing. Although I know that I could do like kick-ass paintings but even knowing that you can do kick-ass paintings doesn't guarantee that you're going to sell them or that you're going to sell them well. So I don't know. Scary. It's always scary. Always. It doesn't matter at what moment, you are in your career. It's always going to be super, super scary.
Have you seen Mr. Aries? I don't know how to
Sí.
pronounce his name.
Aris, él es vasco.
Aris?
Sí, él es vasco.
Yeah. Have you seen Mr. Aries boxers?
Yeah, they're super elegant.
I
They're
believe-
super...
Oh, sorry.
Dale,
No,
termina.
I
Discúlpame.
believe he used multiple frames of Muy Bridge boxers
Mhm.
photos as reference.
Yeah, they feel super vintage, super nice, elegant. They're really nice. And he's put them in like chapels, right? Like he's installed them in churches or chapels. Yeah, Aris is amazing. We have a print of his here.
Like
We
a
really like.
nice print.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying maybe split it up, do the small paintings 3 days out of the week, and work on the large ones the other days, and stream them to make donations while you stream.
That's very nice. But and in terms of time management, I think that's kind of close to what we're gonna do next year. So
Yeah.
you're totally right. We don't. You know what the bad thing is?
What?
We don't have like proper space to
Yeah.
because the room. I mean, I'm not helping myself because I collect so many like toys and
But
sculptures that I took like space out of my studio
no,
here.
That's not the problem.
But it is a small room, and we. I mean, I could tell you this from experience. Like it would have always been difficult to have like easels set up here and just to do like bigger paintings. But that's never stopped me. Like Danny and I will find a way, even if when we're doing the larger paintings, we have to have like temporary setups.
Yeah.
I think we can find a way. So that has
Yeah.
never stopped us. So
But the other thing is that we always try to have the least distortion that we can.
oh yeah, streaming a large painting.
Yeah, so that would be.
Yeah, very difficult.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you would
yeah.
have to put my. I mean, it would be very difficult to see the whole thing at the same time.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm thinking about is we could do like a sort of. ¿Tú has visto ese video de Rupert von Kaufmann haciendo la pintura de la cama?
No, la verdad no.
Have you guys seen that video of Rupert doing his painting of the bed? I think it's on YouTube.
I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
link it.
Does OBS allow you to do like a live window? Like a link to a live window?
No. Oh, I almost.
You almost fell.
Yeah, fell from the chair.
Yeah.
No, but I can put the link on the chat because I also don't know if it's copyright. So.
Oh, right. And I
Yeah,
think that one has a song to it
yeah,
too.
and I think like I am able to put it on screen, but yeah, I don't know because of copyright. So. This one, yeah. Wait.
Yeah, so it's like ¿cómo es que se llama eso en cámaras? Como
Time-lapse?
it's like a time lapse. It's not really a video. But it's like a super cool time lapse of him painting this this one particular painting of the interior of a room with a chair and a TV. Maybe if you guys are a fan, you already know what I'm describing, but
Yeah, I just post the link if you want to go check it out after our live.
or just open another window. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Me encantó.
After,
After
yeah.
our live.
Please stay. They're saying hi from Brazil. Super chat button isn't appearing here. I think we don't know about that. Like,
Super chat?
yeah, I think that's the donation.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
can you? I'm sorry, we're terrible YouTubers, but can you tell us what super chat is? So, because I've seen it, like I think it's in the monetization tab, but we haven't. Yeah, no. Sorry, I was reading what it was, but yeah, I think we don't have it enabled, but if you can talk about what it is, maybe we can put it tomorrow or in the near future. They're saying I'm trying to convince them to set up a Ko-fi Ko-fi no sé account
Ko-fi?
Ko-fi
Yeah.
account and accept donations.
As you can tell, we have no clue
Yeah.
what any of these things are. Completely ignorant.
Yeah.
So super well prepared to stream.
Yeah. No, they're saying it would be nice if they enable it. Yeah. Mm. They're saying YouTube takes a third or something like that of all super chats. I know some people use Streamlabs.
Use StreamKit?
Streamlabs.
So that we don't even know what that is either.
They're saying super chat allows viewers to highlight their message and get more interaction. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like what I showed you in, like, there's a separate Twitch chat for people that are supporters that are subscribed to the Twitch channels.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. We didn't have that enabled. Hola Dani, super chat es para hacer donaciones y sus mensajes se ven destacados. Bueno, sí, vamos a averiguar un poquito más sobre eso, pero
Creo que por ahora, voy a ser honesto, a mí me gusta todo así súper democrático. A mí me gusta...
Sí, pues igual tampoco el chat tiene como...
Sí, y la verdad es que no
una
tenemos como...
velocidad
Y no
absurda,
tenemos
así que
como
uno pueda-
300.000 personas en un live como tratando de...
Sí,
O sea, el único filtro es Dani tratando
de
de
buscar preguntas.
buscar preguntas ahí como para mantener las cosas andando.
Pues incluso es tan así que tengo que buscar las preguntas. O sea, no es un chat que vaya a toda. Yeah, they're saying it's a way to monetize your stream. So I'm looking for more questions. If you have any question about anything, just let us know so we can interact a little bit.
And I'll speak a little... yeah, this is a disgrace. This is like just shameful. But I kind of like it. It's cute, I guess, in a way. But I am still trying. I guess I started from the middle, and it's kind of radiating from the middle what I'm trying to do, and because I really haven't quite figured it out like in terms of what I want. In terms of color, I guess I'm going with somewhat more naturalist and just pushing the expression a little bit. Although the expression is so, it's an incredibly overexpressive image. So I don't know if my job is like, I don't have to do that much. My job has been like cut in half because I don't really have to push that much. It's already there. Yeah, but in terms of color, I think I'm more prone to always be moved by the color, like the native color of things, and I'll start from there. rather than being like somebody mentioned Aris is like super expressive with color. Like he'll mix yellows and greens and like light blues in ways that I can't really imagine. Like I wouldn't be able to understand color that way or to deal with color that way. And I'm totally fine with that. I've always said this. Like I think that art is amazing because it gives the people that are capable of doing these things, it gives them a chance to show you what you can't do. So I'm always like a fan of people showing me the opportunities that I'm missing when when I decide that that my painting is going to lie or my drawing is going to lie elsewhere, like the essence of my drawing is going to lie elsewhere. I'm super grateful that I have, that I'm surrounded by amazing artists. Surrounded, not literally, but yeah, I guess I count Instagram as being surrounded, but I think of it as a space, to be super, super honest with you guys, like almost like a physical space. But I love that I'm surrounded by people that show me, things that I just never considered. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's what keeps, my energy and my enthusiasm going. Not so much what I can do myself, but what other people can do, which is super, super exciting. I think yesterday I was mentioning how Steve Kim does these very weird heavy poly Twitch streams, which are very strange. They don't really look like what he's used to doing with his drawings, with his with his image making. I guess they don't have to be drawings. They're like these digital pieces, but I still like them a ton. I really, really like them. I they're so bold and just messy and kind of different. So I wasn't really expecting him to do what he does, probably on Photoshop or whatever software he uses for his streams. I'm guessing that would take a long, long time. Like they're super, super clean. So I don't know. I think that it wasn't realistic to expect him to do that with his streaming. But I really like the things that he posts. They're super strange. But it's almost like, the first time, and I think I spoke about this in one of our videos. I don't remember which one it was, Danny. I don't know if you remember, but that I spoke about David Hockney's iPad paintings. And I think I mentioned him. I forget which video it was.
Yeah, and we showed the paintings, but
I forget which one it was. But I remember, and I think I mentioned how initially I just thought they were horrible. I just thought they were really, really terrible. And when I saw that retrospective, that show at the Tate, what is it now? Maybe 4 years? Oof, is it going to be 4 years ago? Maybe. No, it's probably like 4. That's crazy. But 4 years ago, there was a whole room dedicated to those paintings, and they were fascinating. I found them fascinating. And I felt so strange because I went to the show like super guarded, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be dumb. Like, this is going to be so stupid when we reach those paintings. After seeing like his drawings, his enormous portraits, like these are going to feel so stupid. Like, because they feel such, when I saw them the first time, I was like, oh, these are so capricious. Like, this is so just a whim of him to say, I'm just going to take this tool, this digital tool that I know nothing about, this tablet. I don't know how to draw with it. I don't know how to paint with it. I'm just going to take this and do my own, little version of my paintings with this iPad. And initially, I thought that it was just that. It was just a very simplified, kind of second-rate version of his own work. And then I saw it under maybe a completely different context, and I was blown away. I don't know why that happens sometimes. I guess we grow, because the work hasn't changed at all, but we've grown. And I'm not saying that to understand some of those iPad works, you have to grow. No. It's this is different for all of us. But in my case, in my path, in my development, I had for some reason reached the point or reached something that told me, wow, is far better than what I thought it was initially, and I loved it. I loved that I was giving myself the chance to like experience that, almost like for the first time. So I loved those digital paintings.
They're saying, did you see Hockney's logo for the London Tube? Any thoughts?
No, I
I
haven't.
have it here if you want to.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Piccadilly Circus. Oh wow. I don't. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that. It's almost like it reminds me of my school. They I think Cy Twombly did a flower that was the logo for my school. And when I first saw it, and when I first saw that flower, I was like, what the hell? Like, what is this? This is a joke, right? Like, how much did the school pay to get this flower? And yeah, this kind of gave me flashbacks to that. That is bold. I'll say that. And is it like that, Danny? Like Piccadilly Circus?
Yeah.
That is not.
Yeah.
Oh, for every station, every stop, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's like an iPad little. He took like 2 minutes to draw each of them. Wow, that's permanent? Is that like from now on? That's what the tube is going to look like?
No, they're.
Wow. Yeah, that would be bold.
What safety precautions does Nicholas take to oil paint safely? Those solvent fumes can be so obnoxious.
Yeah, so no solvent. That's my easy answer. No solvents. And I very rarely use medium. So part of my path, part of my also development in the sense of the choices that I've made around the materials that I pick nowadays have to do with the fact that I don't want to feel the need to use medium. So that's why I use raw paper. That's why I use fast drying paints to allow me to treat them, to apply them in particular ways, and I kind of know how they're going to behave in an alla prima session. But yeah, that's why I would say not peculiar. I don't think there's anything kind of weird about the way I paint, but that's why my paintings look the way they do. I would say that a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm avoiding the use of solvent. Yeah, I think Danny could tell you right now that our house, like our apartment, doesn't smell like paint.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so that's always like a good sign.
It smells like food.
Like
Yeah.
oleas.
Yeah, oleas. No, but every time I cook,
Yeah,
it smells. But yeah,
but it smells good.
yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah. No, better than solvent.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Could I use Damar varnish or other varnishes on raw moleskin oil paintings?
I would say yes, but I would say like as a final varnish. You're saying just try to if you could talk to me just a little bit more about
It's
how
there
you're going to use it.
if you want.
Who is-
Okay.
So Emily, if just let me know how or why you feel the need to use it. If it's just as a final varnish to because the paint layer can become so sometimes dull that maybe that's what you want to do. But I don't know if maybe you want to use them as medium.
No, she's saying yes, final varnish.
Or as a final varnish? Yeah, I would say yes. Sometimes if you have like raw moments for the paper, the varnish will seep in. And that for sure, it's not going to cause you trouble. It's just going to affect the sort of stability, the longevity of the paper for sure. varnish is always like the culprit when you see like a yellowed painting, like a crusty painting. That's almost always varnish. So you are going to deal with those things, but those things happen so long after the application of varnish that I don't know if it's worth worrying about them. But yeah, you could explore other varnishes maybe. There are synthetic varnishes that you could use, like retouch varnishes, if you're looking for a final varnish, and they're a little bit better, I would say, in the sense that you don't have to wait till the paint layer is so stable as Domar. You know how they say that Domar you should put at least 6 months after your painting is fully dry. With a retouch varnish, you don't really have to wait that long. I mean, you do have to wait till your paint layer is fully dried, but you don't have to wait 6 months for sure, because retouch varnish is meant to be used almost like a substitute for oiling out. So instead of oiling out, you just retouch varnish your painting, and now you are you're back to your layer of paint looking like absolutely fresh, not feeling, because it's not going, you can't paint on top of retouch varnish. It's not literally like oiling out in the sense that you can't just apply retouch varnish and start painting. No, retouch varnish sets in like half an hour. It sets super quickly. So you have to let it dry and then find a weird way in which you are painting on top of retouch varnish, which I know that can feel super uncomfortable, but you can get used to it. You can. I know it's difficult, but you can. So maybe you could search for alternatives, maybe, for final varnish. I've said it before. No, don't worry. No, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's not good practice. I'll always, precede my comment with that. It's not good practice. It's not dumb, but it's not great practice. But I apply a very thin layer of liquid as my final varnish whenever I use liquid as my medium. So whenever I'm using like alkyd medium, I'll use the same alkyd medium as my final varnish. Just a very small, very small thin layer. Not small, just thin layer. Sorry. ¿Qué ibas a decir? Discúlpame.
¿Es verdad que usted tuvo clase con James Jean en SBA?
Es verdad, sí. Yo no creo que él diga, yo tuve clase con Nicolás Uribe. Yo no creo que... Estoy seguro que él nunca... Cosas que James Jean nunca ha dicho. Sí, yo tuve clases con Nicolás Uribe. Pero yo sí puedo decir, sí, yo tuve clases con él. Sí, él era un año menor que yo, pero sí compartimos clases. Sí, era un monstruo. Sí, muchas veces he compartido eso. Es un monstruo. Él fue muy amable y escribió como el prefacio del último libro. Y qué pena con todos. Esto sí ha sido como una desatención mía, entonces les pido disculpas. Pero hubo tres personas también me puse a ver, y no, tampoco eran muchas, pero 3 personas que me respondieron que de pronto estaban interesadas en ver cuánto costaba el envío del libro. Y creo que 2 de esas 3 personas están aquí en Colombia. Entonces, si no les he respondido, créanme, ahorita que acabemos este live, monto el dibujo y les respondo con calma. Entonces no se preocupen, pero sí les pido disculpas. Sí, James fue súper amable y le pedí el favor que sí me podía escribir como el prefacio de ese libro, el forward. Y me lo escribió ahí algo súper bonito. Pues no echándome flores tampoco. Pues yo no quería que me regalara tampoco nada como una adulación así toda falsa. Pero escribió algo ahí súper chévere. Entonces, sí, tuve la fortuna de compartir con una persona así de talentosa un momento, una etapa de formación ahí súper chévere en mi vida. Increíble verlo trabajar. Era un genio desde joven, o sea, siempre fue un genio. Y algo que siempre he dicho, y no me canso de repetir, es que seguramente me voy a morir y nunca voy a conocer a una persona que trabaje tanto como él. Estoy seguro que ahorita que es pues absurdamente exitoso, eh, sigue trabajando igual, sigue trabajando exactamente igual. Entonces, no, yo fui fan de él cuando estaba haciendo portadas de Fables. Yo incluso le compré dos pinturas. Yo siempre cuento esta historia de gente que dice, no.
Yo una de esas.
Sí, sí, yo le compré pinturas a James en algún momento y después las revendí porque pues me estaba, o sea, la verdad nunca fue porque quería ganarme plata con la pintura de él, sino que Samu iba a nacer y yo estaba muy asustado de que yo no iba a tener nunca como el dinero suficiente para ayudar como no sé, ayudar con lo que significara la crianza de Samu. Entonces yo le escribí a él y me sentí súper mal y le dije, oiga, es que yo tengo esto, ¿le importa si lo vendo? Y no lo vendí, o sea, no se imaginen cosas así, o sea, absurdas. Hoy en día seguramente sí hubiera podido tener un precio muchísimo más alto, pero pues no, nunca me voy a arrepentir de lo que, ni siquiera me he puesto a pensar cuánto podrían costar esas pinturas, pero yo las compré, les digo, si quieren les digo, yo las compré en 1000 y las vendí en 10.000. Entonces pues para mí eso era más que suficiente, o sea, era una ganancia enorme para ese entonces y lo que les decía, o sea, Samu iba a nacer y pues yo estaba, como decimos nosotros, aculilladísimo y no sabía si iba a tener como el suficiente dinero. Yo decía, yo no sé lo que significa como tener un niño, ni la plata que uno necesita, ni nada. Entonces me dio mucho susto y pues vendí esas pinturas. Sí, eso yo creo que estoy contando esta historia y Dani es los ojos de decepción más grandes del
No, pues
mundo.
tus decisiones.
Gracias, eso no me hizo sentir para nada mejor. O
No,
sea,
no, pues
peor me siento
no,
después del
porque
comentario incluso.
en el momento era la decisión que tenías que
Exacto,
tomar.
exacto.
Pero pues
Pero por ejemplo,
sería muy chévere tenerlas, pero pues no,
no, o
obviamente
sea,
era
no me
la
estás
decisión.
ayudando. Eso,
No, no,
eso
no,
no
porque te
ayudó
estoy diciendo,
en nada.
es la decisión que tenías que tomar y
Ahí
está
estás
perfecto.
repitiendo lo que ya has dicho, sí.
Sí,
No, es la otra
y
parte
vuelvo
que
y
me hizo
repito
sentir mal.
que igual sería chévere.
Ahí me hiciste, o sea, doble o nada a hacerme sentir peor, gracias.
Si alguien dijo severa historia y una carita llorando.
Sí, no, por favor, gracias. No necesito más. O sea, esa fue mi decisión en ese momento.
No, pero era la decisión que tenías que tomar y ya. Ya, o sea, tampoco puede uno
De pronto
llorar
estaríamos
sobre la leche
viviendo debajo de un puente,
derramada.
pero con un James Dean ahí colgado.
Sí.
Pero no le digas como sí, como sí.
No, 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 sí.
Ojalá.
No, sí.
Sí,
Cambiemos de tema.
esa añoranza.
Em,
Ese puente se volvió súper atractivo.
em, Emily, that
Yep.
asked about Damar varnish. She
Yes.
says, if I just use,
Emily, she. I don't think Emily is a.
I don't know.
Or they.
Yeah.
You know, let's do better.
They're saying, if I just use linseed oil in my paper painting, can I still use liquid to varnish it?
I don't like to. I don't like to tell people to mix mediums. So I've never liked to suggest people to mix mediums. So yeah,
She says
I'd be
it's
super
she.
careful. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'd be super careful about doing that.
Yeah, but she said she is a she.
Okay, yeah, Emily, I would advise against it. Like if you're using a particular medium, just stick to that one for the, for the rest of your painting. Don't change it up as you go along. I've tried those things and they always spell trouble. So, yeah, if you commit to a medium, stick to it.
Dicen, no, o sea, lo entiendo, tremendo hacer eso por el hijo. Y otra persona dice, yo estoy orgulloso, buen padre.
Ah, gracias. Samu, yo creo que nunca
No,
le importó. No,
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 pues
no.
no creo que sepa quién es James Jean,
No,
ni
no le
siquiera.
importa. No le importa. Y le digo, mira, teníamos las portadas de Fable 1 y 3.
¿Qué es eso?
¿Qué es eso?
Sí. What kind of white do
Sí.
you use when you...
Samu, si vendemos eso, ¿cuántas skins de Fortnite
Ujú.
podríamos tener? Se lo tengo que pintar a Samu como en valores que él entiende.
Sí. Sí, incluso yo creo que él todavía no entiende bien la plata.
No,
Hace
no,
unos
para
días
nada.
estábamos viendo un partido de Colombia y hablamos algo de un futbolista.
Ah, que cuánto que ganaba. Es que a mí me impresionan los sueldos de futbolistas. Por ejemplo, los que se ganan como De Gea, el arquero del United, se gana como 350.000 libras a la semana. O sea, eso es una cosa descomunal. Y entonces Samu estaba diciendo,
Que si
oigan,
una casa
que si
costaba.
podía comprar como una casa. Y yo, Samu, ¿cómo así? O sea, de 300, yo le decía, puede comprar casas de 1.000 millones aquí en Colombia
Sí.
cada semana. Pero Samu cuando trató de hacer las cuentas, Samu tiene 14 años, ¿no? Esto habla de las matemáticas de él, pero cuando trató de hacer las cuentas anuales, decía, o sea, una casa al año. Y
Sí,
yo, no,
nosotros no a
no,
la semana.
Samu, una casa a la
O
semana
al
se puede
día, pues
comprar. Sí.
porque
Ah,
depende
sí, sí,
qué
depende de
tipo de
donde quiera
casa
vivir.
compra. Sí, sí, sí. What kind of white do you use when you paint? I always use titanium white, and it seems like it becomes too dark too quickly.
Too dark?
Yeah.
Wow, as it dries too dark, with the pass of time, because I don't know if it'll I don't see titanium white becoming dark in, our lifetime, I would say. I mean, depends on what sort of oil the white is ground into, but I don't I mean, at least I'm not familiar with titanium white darkening as it dries. So maybe it has to do with your medium, because that's never been my case. I'm going to be super, super honest with you. And forgive me if I'm being ignorant here, but I just don't know how titanium white would darken. In fact, titanium white is actually the brightest white that you can use. That's why they started using it as a replacement for lead white.
They're saying just as the white is mixed with other colors.
Really? I think that's maybe. I don't want to. I don't want to suppose things here, so I need to be very careful. But maybe that has to do with what you're mixing, and not so much about the white. I would love to know a little bit more. So if you can be more specific, please, tell me. When I mix this and this, it just feels like it darkens. Maybe what you're referring to is it kind of mutes the color. It's more muted because titanium white is very, very chalky. That's what it is. And because it is chalky, it can really kill the saturation, the chroma in your colors. But I wouldn't really categorize that as darkening your color. That's something totally different. Darkening has to do with value. So I don't see how titanium could darken a mixture. So maybe, and again, forgive me if I'm thinking that I understand what you're trying to say, or that I'm trying to explain it in words that are not quite it. But maybe what you're referring to is that it's not so much darkening it; it's just making colors duller, less lively, and that's what titanium does because it's chalky. It's a very, very chalky white. Some people hate it.
They're saying, I know you paint with pure oils and use stand oil for medium, but do you mix liquid through it?
No, so I used to use stand oil. I don't think I've used it for many, many years now because I don't use traditional mediums anymore. Because if I was using stand, you would have to use some sort of solvent with it. You can't really use stand by itself. I describe it as painting with like honey or molasses. And that's what stand is supposed to feel like, but you can't really paint with that. So I haven't really used it for a very, very long time. So no. But you were saying if you could mix liquid with your oil?
No,
with stand oil?
With stand oils.
Yeah, liquid is a modified oil, but I don't know what would be the purpose because it's already a gel, and maybe you would think, well, if I mix it with stand oil, I would have it would serve like liquid would be serving the purpose of varnish, and it would and the stand oil would just open the drying times more, for the liquid. Maybe that's what you're thinking about when you want to add stand to when you want to add liquid to stand. If it's not quite that, if I could ask if you could explain maybe what your objective would be. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but I wouldn't do it. I don't know how it would serve that purpose. I would argue. Have you tried painting with just liquid? Because maybe if you paint with it, it behaves more of like a gel medium, that sets very quickly. So maybe if you give it a shot, you're gonna like it. Maybe.
Do we have any casein paint wigs in the future?
Oh, yeah, but I could try. I mean, those are very gouache-like. I could try. I don't have any. I would have to buy them. But let's be honest, like Gurney does so good. He does that so well. I don't know if I could ever do anything like better than Gurney. So, for now, I would just say, just please credit to where credit is due. Yeah, check his casein paintings out, because he is absolutely masterful at doing those, and he loves them. He loves casein paint.
They're saying more if you mix the liquid drenched painting through the oils.
Yeah, I still.
Oh, during. It was not drenched. During. He corrected.
Okay.
So more if you mix the liquid during painting through the oils.
So I'm guessing like liquid would help you in drying times, because that's what it would that's the role that it would have in that scenario. I can't see it as having any other role. Yeah, I would advise against it. I would just say, I mean, it does work, because if you think about it, there's oil already in our painting. So and liquid is a modified oil, so you're not doing anything stupid. But again, I would just tell you, I would just say, why are you doing it? Like, what is the purpose of adding this? Adding oil to liquid, just to open the drying times, just for handling. And if you can't, I'm not saying you in particular, but if one can't answer that question easily, then we shouldn't do it. Honestly, we shouldn't do it.
Hi, Nick and Danny. I
Hi.
sometimes have trouble with people reacting better to my study pieces, still lifes, etc., compared to my bigger pieces. How do you deal with painting what you like over what people want?
You know what I used to do? I don't know if it's something that I do anymore, but for sure when I had like shows and when I was conscious, because we're always going to be conscious about those things. But when I was conscious of wanting to, have sales, for example, I always told myself, okay, I'm gonna always do paintings that I want to paint. That is the first thing. Like, that is, something that should never be, um, um, como negociado. That is non-negotiable. So that aspect is never to be negotiated. So you're always, we're going to take it as for granted that you're always going to paint something that you want to paint, that you love to paint, that you enjoy painting. But we're always conscious of what sort of pieces people like. That always happens. Also, we're always conscious of how people respond to very particular pieces that we do. So I would always tell myself, okay, I owe it to myself if I want to do well with this show, and to the director of the gallery that works like crazy to try to sell my paintings. I owe it, or to the whole team, because this was actually in one of the galleries that I loved working at. It was 3 people that were working constantly to try to show my work and sell my work, and create a market for myself. So I always told myself, I can, I have to be grateful to the hardworking people, and I have to make their job not so difficult. And I have to, make paintings that are not going to be hell to sell. I have to give them like a good chance at selling these paintings. And the reason was also because, if they were helping with sales, they would get like bonuses, like sales bonuses. So it was really cool. Like a lot of people would be affected by the decisions that you would make as to which paintings to paint. But there was a time where I would say, okay, I've already painted like a couple of these paintings that I know I'm giving myself the better chance to sell. Let me now grant myself the opportunity to just paint whatever the hell I want. Like I've done, 4 of these, 5 of these large ones. Let me do a large one where I'm just like completely, going, off left field, and I'm just trying things out, and I'm just being like, completely, again, that word capricious. Like I'm just answering to myself and my own whims, and I'm not really thinking about anyone else except me. And I'm just, I'm turning off expectations. I'm turning off responsibilities. And this is all about me. And that is super, super cool. So I think that what kept me happy throughout those years, and I think I worked with Mauricio, with Quinta Galeria, for almost like 8 years, I think it was. I think that what kept me happy for that time was that I gave myself the opportunity to do paintings that were, kind of stupid, that didn't make sense, that would never ever make sense. And he allowed me to do that because he knew that I had worked really, really hard, trying to do those paintings where I was trying to benefit all of us, where I was trying to make it a little bit easier for all of us, us as a team. I think that the best galleries are the ones where you feel like you are part of that family. Like that whatever work you're doing affects not only you, but the people working there. And whatever, effort the gallery is doing, it not only affects their bottom line, but they are aware that it's also, really important for your life. So yeah, that's how I saw it. So I can't give you like a recipe or a number, or like a specific number, but I would definitely just grant myself the opportunity to do those dumb personal, paintings, rather than doing, or not rather than, like after doing paintings where I was very conscious of what we needed as a team, or if what was beneficial for all of us as a team. Hopefully that kind of made sense.
Hola, Nicolás.
As I'm trying to look for this damn eye in shadow, and I'm completely lost. So I'm so sorry if I'm struggling with my words, but I'm just really trying to look for this eye here. I think that I started with this eye here, and I've been pushing it to the right, and I still need to push it more. I'm okay with making this eye kind of smaller and squinting, like really, really squished. I kind of like that even. And I love that this one is kind of off-center. It's really off. It's kind of gnarly. I like it. But I just want to get it somehow, like somewhat right, or in the vicinity. So sorry about that. Sí, qué pena, dale.
No, tranqui.
Dale, linda.
Hola, Nicolás. ¿Qué tanto consideras o influye tu conocimiento de anatomía al momento de dibujar?
Eh, Tengo conocimiento, yo nunca estudié formalmente anatomía, o sea, nunca, en mi universidad daban como, había unos dibujos de anatomía, pero yo nunca los tomé, si soy sincero. Entonces, yo creo que muchísima de la anatomía que yo aprendía era de copiar otros dibujos, de copiar otras pinturas o copiar dibujos, copiar cómics. Yo creo que ese como casi que exceso de anatomía que existe en el cómic, como de esos arquetipos ahí súper extraños, que son los personajes de cómics, pues hacen que uno se vuelva como ultra consciente de la anatomía. Entonces, en mi caso, de pronto eso tuvo que ver, pero en un taller por fuera de la universidad que yo di durante muchos años, no sé cuántos años yo di talleres en Blanc. Tengo que preguntarle a Felipe como cuántos años estuvimos juntos.
Como 6 por ahí.
Como 6 o 5 años, de pronto sí. En los talleres de Blanc, creo que en dos de los talleres de Blanc, di dibujo anatómico. Y fue súper chévere, aunque debo aceptar que tuve que practicar mucho. O sea, tuve que leer resto, tuve que practicar muchísimo. Como que tuve que darme cuenta del resto de vacíos que tenía en términos del conocimiento, de la noción que yo creía tener sobre anatomía. Y yo creo que incluso las personas cuando estaban allá se daban cuenta que había, o sea, esos vacíos no solo se pueden como subsanar cuando uno lee y ya, no, o sea, todo el trabajo ese de anatomía es súper bonito cuando se activa, digamos, cuando uno está trabajando con un modelo, porque todos esos talleres que dimos en Blanc eran con pues dibujo desde el natural, dibujo con modelo del natural. Entonces, para mí también era súper bonito como decir, bueno, recopilé toda esta información y ahora tengo que ponerla como a prueba en este dibujo, con esta pose del modelo. Y era súper chévere. Muchas veces me perdía y muchas veces como que no lograba entender el carácter de la información que yo había como recopilado y era chévere darme cuenta como, uy, esto es re difícil, tengo que tratar como de entender esto mientras lo voy haciendo y no quiero decir que lo lograba así impresionante, pero lograba como casi que ahí en tiempo real explicarme cosas con la información que, de nuevo, que ya había como estudiado, entonces era súper chévere. Pero a lo que voy es que no, o sea, eso demuestra que tampoco yo tenía ese conocimiento así previo ni que eran los fundamentos así súper sólidos que yo tenía como dibujante. Entonces, no, yo creo que lo mío es más como de observación y mucha interpretación también. Yo creo que yo interpreto libremente la información que encuentro todo el tiempo, todo el tiempo.
Do you have any advice for getting better with brush handling? Any exercises or tips for laying paint down?
Okay, so the easiest one there is always grab the larger one. Grab the largest brush you have and try to paint with that one and don't go for like the smaller brushes until up until the end or if you want to be super hardcore about it just try to deal with your painting, try to resolve your painting with a single large brush and try to do it as much as you can, do as many paintings of those as you can, and that's going to be super interesting. You're going to learn like crazy by doing that. So yeah, definitely one brush. And if you feel that that's kind of enclosing you or what's the word I'm looking for, like conditioning you into just the use of a single manner of putting paint down, just change the brush shape. So let's say for a couple of paintings, let's say for a week's worth of paintings, you're only going to use a big flat brush, a large flat brush, large flat. If you kind of grow accustomed to it or tired, then for the next week, just tell yourself, okay, now I'm going to use a large round brush. And the next week you say, I'm going to use a large filbert brush. And you change it up. So the idea is to never get comfortable, never ever get comfortable. You know how, I mean, I can't speak from experience doing the, I used to be better at this, but not nowadays. But you know how if you're exercising, your body can get used to certain exercises and people feel like they get stuck, like if they were trying to lose weight, like they lost weight super quickly, or if they're trying to build muscle, they build muscle super quickly, but then after a while it's like, wow, what's happened? Like I've plateaued, like what is going on? And in the same way that your body gets used to certain physical exercise, it's exactly the same thing with painting. Like your mind also gets used to very particular ways of of doing things. So you have to change things up in order for you to keep learning and to keep that mind just super active, and those experiences, those learning experiences, just you know you want them to keep going. You want your life to be just completely surrounded by those. So yeah, just change things up constantly. But yeah, use one brush. Try to use it for as long as you can, or push yourself to use it for the whole execution of the painting. And I think that's going to be awesome.
I'm an art student and painting is really not represented here. No classes about painting. It's mostly performance. I kind of feel pressure to change my interest and I'm overwhelmed. Any advice on how to deal with it?
I'm so sorry about that. That's a tough one, because if there's no real, no classes where you are, because what you kind of sometimes get is that the school has a tendency or has a very specific philosophy. Like, I would say that the school where we were at doesn't really push painting. Would you say that, Danny? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but there was painting. Like, I was able to teach painting there for years.
Yeah, but we had only the chance to have two
Two paintings.
Yeah.
So in a 5-year career, in a
We had
5-year,
classes.
we had 2 classes of painting,
Yeah.
and I could say, like, for the time that I was there, I can count with one hand the people that did thesis project, like their last project that had to do with painting. I think even Danny knows, like, when we were
Yeah.
looking at thesis projects, like, there was almost never painting. I mean, it was very rare to see painting as a thesis project. So yeah, but what usually happens is that a school can favor some, other things, but still they're going to be respectful about painting, and they're going to offer painting in some way. If you don't, if you've already made a choice, because I'm guessing again, this is me just supposing things, but I'm guessing that you've already enrolled in this school and you are committed to studying in this school. So I can't tell you things like, oh, just drop out and just find another school, because that's not going to be realistic. But if that's the case, that you're already enrolled and you have to finish your education there, try to find in the broader community if there are spaces that have, let's say, life drawing, once a week or twice
Yeah.
a week.
Or open,
Or
like
open-
model with
Exactly.
open sessions.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So, or open sessions where they are not really directed, and that's going to be a shame if you wanted to have some sort of education. But I can tell you right now, if it's a healthy studio, you can always ask people there things. Always, always. I think that, healthy open studios always have very, very generous artists there. And maybe outside school, you can start almost like educating yourself, which I know that burden should not fall on your shoulders. That should be the responsibility of your school to do that. But if what you're telling me is true, and I have no reason to doubt that you're saying the truth, you have no other choice but to look for it on your own terms and on your own time. Again, that doesn't sound fair, and I totally get it. And trust me, like, I feel for you. But you can either, like, stay there and do nothing about it, or you can just say, okay, it's not happening in my school, but there's bound to be a community nearby that, has where I can find these sort of artists. And if it's not that, if you realize there's nobody, well, there are virtual communities. I mean, there are spaces where you can totally be part of a community, and people are going to share as much information as they know. So maybe on the side, if you can, if you can maybe take some courses or some workshops with artists that you enjoy, or something that doesn't also burden you in terms of money, because maybe you only have so much money to spare for your education. So I don't want to sound like I'm telling you, oh, just spend loads of money taking workshops, but hopefully you're going to be able to find the best option is if you find it locally. I mean, a ton of friends of ours, I would say, with Danny, come from, for example, when I was working at Blank. I have tons of friends that I met there that were, attendees, former, I don't want to say students because a lot of them were like super, super talented, but just people that attended those workshops, and still today they're a very good friend of ours. So yeah, try to find those smaller communities that could be that could be super, super helpful to you, and it could help you kind of not compartmentalize your education and feel like, okay, this is crap, like when I go to school it's crap, but it's what I need to be responsible for that. My parents are expecting me to finish this degree, to finish my BFA, and I want to do that, but I actually have a great time when I just step out of that scenario and go to my friends in drawing or painting class, or that open studio. I wouldn't see it that way. I just don't think that seeing it that way is healthy either. Try to make the best of everything. Like if they're teaching you about installation, try to do a kick-ass installation that has to do with you. Like find a way to always manifest yourself through installation. Like Danny doesn't do much installation, but I can tell you that her work was always like super, super interesting, and it was always her. Like always her. Like you can always see yourself in a work, even if the language in which you're expressing it is not your own. So
¿Cómo aprendiste a dibujar tan hermoso? ¿Podrías dar alguna técnica para empezar en el retrato y que tenga parecido a la persona?
no, pues gracias por lo de tan hermoso. No, nunca he creído que dibujo hermoso, pero muchas gracias. Muy querida, muy amable.
No,
Eh,
Alejandro Pinzón.
Muy querido, muy amable, Alejandro, disculpe. Pero no, o sea, específicamente retrato, no, 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 yo creo que es dibujar. O sea, Alejandro, coja una bitácora, un cuaderno y dibuje todo lo que tenga a su alrededor. Dibuje su cuarto, los butacos que tenga ahí en la casa, las mesas, objetos encima de cualquier espacio. O sea, no se limite a pensar en que para ser bueno haciendo retratos toca solo practicar retrato. No, no, no. Para poder dibujar bien toca es dibujar. O sea, para tener una conexión, digamos, profunda, chévere y generar una relación con el dibujo, toca es dibujar. Dibujar lo que sea, lo que haya enfrente de uno. Uno tiene que convencerse que la conexión que uno tiene es con el dibujo, no con el sujeto del dibujo. Es decir, para eso nos ayuda cuando uno dice, no, lo que uno no quiere es decir, es que yo soy bueno dibujando personas, pero no plantas. No, o sea, eso, yo sé que puse un ejemplo que suena súper arbitrario, pero pues es para como reforzar el punto que estoy tratando de hacer, como no, uno no puede como convencerse de que uno está entrenándose para dibujar un tipo de sujeto. No, la idea es que uno pueda siempre, siempre, siempre estar como al servicio de lo que sea, o sea, de cualquiera que sea la naturaleza del sujeto de la obra de uno. Entonces, si toca mañana hacer un dibujo de una calle, pues se hace un dibujo de una calle, o si mañana toca dibujar un ajo, pues hacemos un dibujo así súper chévere de un ajo, de un diente de ajo, o sí, ojalá me esté explicando, pero lo que estamos buscando es, cuando dibujamos, es como adquirir esa relación que se necesita así súper profunda con una herramienta y no tanto una experiencia que uno pueda replicar infinitamente al momento de representar un sujeto específico de pintura o de dibujo. No, la idea es que seamos mucho más versátiles que eso.
The last question that you were talking about painting,
Yep.
like the
Finding like spaces
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yep.
They say, yes, the Kenyo community really helped me. Thank you so much for the answer, Danny and Nicolas. Yeah, and also I wanted to say that maybe try to talk openly with your teachers, because maybe they're up to letting you um, like take the things that they're teaching and express it by painting.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened a lot at the university, that there were a lot of people that, I don't know, loved painting. So they tried to talk with the teachers and said, "Hey, this is what I want. I'm going to use the tools that you give me in your class, but I'm going to try to translate that knowledge into painting." So I don't know, maybe you can get surprised with the answer of your teacher. So I would give that a shot too.
Yeah, that's super good, Danny. That's really really good advice, because we always have to give a teacher, and hopefully you're surrounded by good teachers, even though there may not be the teaching what you want to learn. Maybe they're great teachers. Some of my teacher friends at the university hated painting. They could care less about painting, and they were super super good friends of mine. We could have like really healthy, great conversations. So I don't think that, like, I'm hoping that you are surrounded by good, kind of healthy teachers that can say, you know what, yes, bring me your proposal, like tell me what it is that you want to do, and we'll find a way to make it work together. That to me is the sign of a good teacher. Like, not a teacher that is constantly imposing themselves onto you,
Yeah.
but that is hoping that, based on what they're trying to teach you, you can also come with your own input, and you can say, hey, I was hoping that you would be open to, with me doing this a little bit differently, just because I feel like I have a better connection with this. So you have to be intelligent about it. Like what Danny said, you have to be open about it. You have to, talk to your teachers. Don't try to like think that it's going to be a battle right from the start. Don't suppose any of those things. Many times teachers are there to just help you on your way. So um, at least the great teachers that I had when I was a student, and the very good teachers that I met when I was teaching at the university, they all shared that in common. Like, they would always put their students before their own like prejudices, because we all have like some sort of biases in ourselves. So they would always, regardless of what they liked, they would always put the student's interest first. So maybe that's what you need, like, just to be a little more open about it, and don't suppose that it's going to be just a confrontation. If it is, if the teacher does take it personally and says, no, you got to do this, I mean, that's a shame, but you can find intelligent ways to always, again, manifest yourself through your work, because in the end, what you want is to enjoy yourself, like to feel that the experiences that you're going to have are experiences that are teaching you something, that you're growing from. So don't miss an opportunity to do that. The worst thing that you can do is to take a class and say, oh, this is crap, and I'm going to do crap homework because teacher wants, the teacher doesn't like painting, so the way I'm going to avenge that is by doing just shit homework. Like, that's never going to work. That the only person that's going to be affected by that decision, and I'm not saying that you're going to do that, is going to be yourself. So always try to look for alternatives, and try to see how you can find a way to make it enjoyable for yourself.
Yeah, but also try to like talk with an open mind, so you can get
Mm-hmm.
to like a middle ground. I don't know if
Yep.
that's correct.
Yep.
Because maybe they say, no, you have to do a performance, but you can argue that you can do a performance that involves painting. It can be you painting, and you can be like checking every box of what the assignment is, but you are like integrating that to the artistic um, like way of expressing that you really really like. So yeah, I would give that a try. um, I'm a working artist in advertising, but I want to switch to fine arts. Any tips, warnings for the switch and the road ahead?
Um, again, I don't want to suppose like how. I would love to know how that experience is for you, the one in advertising. If it's anything close to when I was working, because we worked closely with sort of like advertising firms, I guess. Like those were our clients when we were doing commercial work, or print jobs, or we were doing stuff for like storyboards or animatics for a bunch of other things. Like, I would love to hear how what your experience is like. My experience, and maybe I'm gonna base it on my experience. So forgive me that I don't know much about yours, but I'm guessing it's gonna be the same. It's a lot about dealing with art directors and clients, and where you have to meet a certain, not quota, but you have to, they expect you to understand what any particular I don't know what you work on, let's say commercials, but if you're working with an account that has a bunch of commercials, you're expected to understand what the objective of those commercials is about, and that is your sole objective. Like that should be the only thing you care about, and being able to translate the art director's vision or the client's vision into this, print job or commercial or whatever. That's your one objective. Like that's it. There's no kind of need to self-express there, because all you're doing is just trying to translate the directions that they're giving you into, the most faithfully you can, and hopefully just inject them with enough creative input from your own creative input, but not too much that can take that conversation elsewhere. So it's a very tricky thing to try to feel like you're really expressing yourself when you're working for others, particularly in advertising or in illustration like I was working on that has to do with advertising.
Sorry.
Yes.
They're saying I work as a sketch artist.
Okay.
In print for posters, so I draw up everyone's ideas.
Yeah, so that's kind of close to what I used to do. I used to just do animatics and storyboards, and that was pretty much the bulk of what we did. So it's always somebody else's creative endeavor, right? And it's always somebody else's vision, and it's always somebody else's project, and it's almost like we are somebody else's hands, and we just have to execute that vision. And I always tell Danny that we were at the bottom of the food chain. Like, if there was something wrong with somebody's work, it's not because it was a bad idea. It's always because we interpreted wrongly, or we just didn't know how to read or understand the instructions that the art director was giving us. But we were always like bottom of the food chain. Always. So I don't know if that's how you feel too, but that's how I felt when I was working. So always the mistakes were always our fault. Always, And I remember with particular accounts, I was like, okay, it's always my fault. This is like crazy. I mean, this is like a multi-million-dollar thing, and it's revolving around me in the sense that I'm the one who's not getting it. There's nobody else in here that thinks that this is a stupid idea. This is just me not getting it. But so I'm guessing again that maybe what you want is to feel like you are showing up in your work a little bit more, that you have something that you want to say, that you want to express, that sadly you're finding that with your job there's no way that you can do that. And for many years my life was that, and then I used, I've spoken openly about this, but I used to paint on the weekends, because that was my time. That was the only time that I had for myself. And I used to try to do my own paintings on the weekends until it just wasn't enough. I became very frustrated, and I realized, okay, this is so not enough. Like I have to, give my job up and just concentrate on painting. And that's what I did. And I would say that the satisfaction, if we get back to your question, and if we say what can you expect by making that big change, because it is a big change, I guess the biggest thing that you're going to encounter is that the satisfaction of finally understanding that you're there, like you're showing up in your own work, is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It just becomes so fulfilling, and you realize how much you missed that part of, yourself when you were working. The bad thing now is that you don't really have a job. You have like a responsibility with yourself when doing these things. So now you are your own boss, and you have to manage your own time, and you have to do all these things like effectively if you want to succeed. And that is not easy. That is so not easy. Like teaching yourself, because nobody's going to teach you about those things. But teaching yourself about how to deal with those things, how to understand your own time, how to be your own judge also. When you're looking at something, you're not running it through an art director or a team of people. Now it's yourself. Now it's only you with yourself, and you're saying, does this look good? Am I doing like a good painting? Is this series of paintings strong? Like, was this a stupid idea? Why am I doing this? So all those things are going to be tough. All those things, they don't have, there's no easy way of putting it, but there's not going to be an easy answer to any of that. If you are willing to do that, again, if you're willing to make that change, the things that you learn about yourself are going to be incredible. They're going to make the whole thing worth it. But there's also enormous risk that is inherent to, making a change that is so big. So I don't know, always, I'm the sort of person that would always push you to do it, because that's how we are, that's how artists are. It's like, oh, do it, sacrifice everything. It's like, move to that place in your van, live off of like food that you can, find in trees and trash cans. Yes, do it. We are that stupid. Sometimes artists, we don't really think ahead at all. And we're always going to be willing to push people to search for their own voice, and we're always going to root for people that are making these enormous sacrifices. But I can definitely tell you that it's not going to be easy. I've never heard of anyone's experience, and I've never heard stories like, oh, you know what? This was actually a lot easier than I expected. Like, I don't know what you guys complain so much about. For me, it was cake. For me, it was so cool. I just showed up to a gallery. They just, grabbed the paintings off my hand. Next day, they sold them for 10 times the price that I thought I was going to start selling them for. And now I have millions, and I can paint whatever I want. So I don't know. It doesn't, it doesn't happen that way. So if you're willing to live through those moments of self-doubt and desperation and of questioning if you did the right thing, because you're going to probably tell yourself, why the hell did I, quit my job? My job was like nice and secure. I had no issues there. If you're willing to do that, know that there are going to be dark moments where you question yourself, but I don't know, push through. I'm always going to be a fan. If you're feeling it, if you feel like you're going to do that sacrifice, that like you have to do that sacrifice, like you really want to answer to your own, kind of nature and sensibility, hell yeah, do it. Have a plan. Don't just go don't just jump into that lake and then ask yourself, oh, wow, it was frozen. I'm jumping into a frozen lake. No. Have a plan and set some objectives for yourself. I think that's also going to be healthy. But if you want to do it, hell yeah, do it.
Hola Nicolás, con respecto a lo que estabas hablando de pintar con un solo pincel, ¿tienes algún
Sí.
consejo sobre cómo manejar los diferentes colores? ¿Limpias el pincel cuando cambias de color? A mí
Claro.
me-
Sí, dale,
perdona.
linda.
A mí me gusta dar una pincelada y después con la siguiente ajustar la forma de la primera. Siempre trabajo con varios pinceles,
Sí.
uno por color, y hacerlo con solo uno se me hace difícil.
Claro, cuando me refiero a un solo pincel, pues bueno, puede ser literalmente un solo pincel. Nosotros hicimos una semana de
Un solo
pintar con un
pincel.
solo pincel
Sí.
y lo Lo único que tienes que hacer, suena raro, pero lo único que tienes que hacer es limpiarlo todo el tiempo. O sea, ser súper juicioso a la hora de estarlo limpiando. O sea, y yo, por ejemplo, uso toallas de cocina, papel de cocina, para limpiar los pinceles todo el tiempo. Como no uso solvente, pues me toca usar papel de cocina todo el tiempo. Pero entonces sí se puede hacer. Créeme que no es algo, de pronto suena complejo, pero no es algo tan complejo. Eh, y lo otro es que cuando digo un solo pincel, pues no, literal, o sea, digamos que el ejercicio no es tampoco un, eh, un ejercicio así súper monolítico en el que uno dice, ay, se trampa, entonces ya no funciona. No, 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 no. O sea, por ejemplo, si tienes un tipo de pincel, digamos que estás usando un pincel plano tamaño, no sé, voy a decir cualquier cosa, un pincel plano tamaño 18. Entonces, pues claro, puedes tener otros pinceles planos tamaño 18. Yo lo que hago es usarlos no por matices, no por colores, sino por tono. Muchas veces cambio de pincel dependiendo del tono. Entonces, digamos, voy a usar un pincel para claros, puedo usar un pincel para oscuros y un pincel para medio tonos. Entonces, si estás usando el mismo tipo de pincel para esos tres, perfecto, no pasa nada. No pasa absolutamente nada.
Listo, ahí linkeé el playlist de la semana.
Ah, gracias, Linda.
No,
Súper.
tranqui, tranqui. A ver. Espérame, se
Se
me
parece a
olvidó.
Zangief. ¿Hay alguien que sea fan de any Street Fighter 2 fans?
No, I don't know who that is.
No?
No.
Google
Google.
Zangief. Zangief.
Zangief.
Gief.
Okay.
And just take the mohawk out. And,
Yeah, a little bit.
and that's bearded Fury. Just bearded Tyson Fury.
Ay, ya sé quién es.
Yeah, he's like a
Ya,
Russian
ya,
wrestler.
sí.
And he was in Wreck-It Ralph. Maybe you remember him. No? No?
Nope. Debería, pero no.
But he was like a second in Wreck-It Ralph, so.
Yeah, no. I don't remember. Do you have any finished works done with charcoal?
Um, I know I'm trying to think if I have them in either. This is gonna sound weird. In either my Facebook page or my. Yeah, I know. I mean I do. I've finished stuff in charcoal, or I don't like the word finished, but I've done drawings in charcoal. Let's just say it that way. Not many, but I have some drawings. They were like large drawings. Probably how
I'm trying
large
to-
were there? Were they? That one's nice. For example, that one.
This
No. That
This
one.
one?
Yeah, that
Okay.
one's nice. So you could show that one
Yeah,
if you
so
want.
it will take me like 2 minutes.
5 minutes.
18 minutes. So, if you want to say something while I.
Me or people?
No, you. Oh, and people, please. If you have questions or anything you want us to talk about. I mean, it can be anything. Yesterday we were talking about food
Oh no, we're not gonna do that
for like
today.
40 minutes.
Yeah,
but,
no.
But we
we're-
can talk about anything you want. But no, I was talking to you, Nicolas. If you
Okay,
can
so I'll talk about.
yeah,
So I'll
please.
talk what's easiest for me, which is about how the drawing is going, which I'm happy with. I was very iterative, or I'm trying to figure out if I was very iterative with certain shapes, and especially shapes here. I think I described it as a radiating drawing. You know, it's almost like that Christ drawing. Have you guys seen that Christ etching that is just a single line that goes from the nose and then it just radiates kind of concentrically out? It's a very very famous etching in like printmaking history. But I'll ask Danny to look for that one in a little bit.
Yeah, but wait.
Yeah.
I have this one that it's your charcoal.
Okay, so let's go back to that charcoal drawing. I really like that charcoal drawing. It's mainly all charcoal, and I think what I did in the end was just apply like I think I put like transparent a transparent binder on top, the one that I use as a primer for my paintings. I think I applied that, and then I just applied like a wash, like very thinly veiled washes, or like a single wash of white, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so that should give you an idea of my, I don't know. Again, I don't want to call it my finished charcoal drawing, because I don't even know what that would, like if you told me now to do a finished charcoal drawing, I don't know what I would do. So I don't really know how to envision what that would look like. So but yeah, but that's an example of me doing a charcoal drawing that ended up being kind of mixed media-ish, but yeah, but I think it's essentially a drawing. And
what was it that you wanted me to?
I forget now. You threw me off.
Something
Totally threw me
that
off.
I wasn't paying
Zangief. Street Fighter Zangief.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
Oh,
but,
as
but I heard
always.
something of the nose. Maybe Jesus.
Oh yeah. So search for etching
Okay.
Jesus nose. Maybe. I mean, I love this. I love to play like the Google name, the Google game.
No.
No, terrible. Yeah, there you go.
This one.
Yes.
Oh,
But try to
okay.
find like a whole one. So that worked.
This one.
No, that
Oh,
that one's
this
gonna.
one.
Yeah, but the one where you could see all the lines. Maybe the close up is better then.
Okay. So. 10
Yeah, let's do
minutes
that one.
more,
Yeah.
please. But you can talk about that if you want.
But I forget what I was. Why I brought it up. I'm like that. If you throw me off, I'm gone.
But-
Like I have no clue what I was trying to
If
say.
you forget, why am I going to put it?
Yeah. Well, just to make a conversation,
Okay.
just for the sake of conversation.
So.
I'll find a way. Oh, okay. Because I was saying how the whole drawing radiated from the center. It was I think it's a drawing where I favored, what was happening in the structure of the nose and upper lip, and I've been neglecting, to be honest, what was happening with the eye or with the other eye. I've been super blind to those other moments. I don't know why. I really don't. Like, I'm usually very respectful of what I need to do in terms of what a drawing is asking of me. But I think I became sort of entranced with those little shapes, I guess, in the middle of my drawing. It didn't help. Can I be totally sincere? It doesn't help that the one, and I'm going to blame it on my tools. Like every good artist, I'm going to blame this on my tools, like just irrationally. It doesn't help that I just can't get anything nice with this damn little thing. Because I was trying to cut it because
You
it's
have
such
to
a
put it
little
in the-
knob.
Oh?
Like nub, I'm sorry. But, it's
Yeah.
just such a little nub that I can't seem to
Oh,
cut it properly. Yeah, could you give me
Oh, sorry.
maybe
I
the
forgot
knife?
about that,
Did you, Danny, did you remember the knife I asked if you could
2
just
hours
pass
ago? Yeah,
like
sorry.
5 days ago on Monday?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll do a question and I'm gonna try to go find it.
Danny's super nice. By the way, we're always like this. We're
Yeah.
not really super serious about
Yeah.
how we speak to each other.
Yeah. No.
My
I wouldn't understand our relationship without like this.
just bickering, like
Yeah,
dumb
yeah, yeah.
bickering. Yeah. Someone Fer many times thinks you guys fight all the time,
Yeah.
and we're like, we never fight.
Yeah, and
We're
they say-
never. It's like you're always arguing about who's
gonna do the dishes?
yeah,
or
who's gonna do the dishes.
order food or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, and we just tell them, yeah, that's not real fighting. Like that's
Yeah.
not.
Rosalind asks favorite cartoon growing up. So you can answer for me, of course,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna go for the blade.
So
You-
Danny, for sure, it's like the easiest. It's SpongeBob for Danny.
Yep.
That's like super easy. Danny was not like, and again, I'm answering for you, but I know all of these things to be true. She was not like a Cartoon Network child.
No,
She
yeah,
was
I
more of a Nickelodeon,
But
but
I
you were
was-
more Nickelodeon.
But I was a television child, so I was any channel. I loved.
Or more, or less Disney Channel. That's what I was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you were
Yeah.
zero Disney Channel, but more
Disney.
cartoon and a lot more. Yeah, this is the one that we've been using. It's like more of like a box cutter, But I think it could do a job. So you talk about SpongeBob, and while I'm just butchering this little pencil.
Yeah. So I love SpongeBob. No.
Thank you,
But-
Danny. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bye.
Yeah. You can host the Oscars now. It's like
Yeah, but no, when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of like Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, of course, Rocket Power,
Rugrats.
Rugrats. Oh, I loved Rugrats. Yeah. Um, there was another one that I don't remember the name, but
Oh, you loved it then.
yeah, no, but
Super important.
no. Because I have a memory, but I was like super young, and they were like aliens, and the intro were them like in a spaceship. I don't know if maybe you know the name, and they landed on Earth, and they were like super weird creatures.
Alf.
And the intro, no, and the intro song was really good. But
Do you remember the
I
intro
remem-
song, Danny? A little bit?
No.
Can you give us a little bit of the
No,
intro
no,
song?
Because if I sing,
Oh,
they will
lose. Oh
cancel
my
our
God. They.
account,
Yeah. Yeah. Video flagged for bad taste.
Yeah. Oh, and of course I loved Franklin, the turtle. when
Yeah,
I
that's
was-
different.
Yeah, but that's a cartoon too.
That's fine. That's fine.
And that's when I was like super little, and I had a turtle that was called Franklin, and I was so sad when it was a she for me when she passed away.
2 weeks into after buying her.
No, it was like a year and a half, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Because I remember they told my parents that.
We can't buy turtles anymore, by
No,
the
no,
way.
no.
This is the thing that
Yeah.
when I grew up and when Danny grew up, like,
Oh, and it was a tortoise, not
Tortoise.
a turtle, because
Yeah.
it was a land turtle.
Okay.
Tortoise, sorry. But yeah. Yeah, but I remember they told my parents that she would maybe be with us for months, like 4 months, 6 months, and she was a year and a half. Yeah, I
That's
loved
pretty-
her.
oh my God.
Yeah.
This turned into
Yeah, I loved
very
her.
emotional. Yeah.
No, but I loved her.
This is super emotional.
And I used to bath her with a toothbrush.
Okay, that's
I
kind of
remember.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
it's a little crazy.
Yeah, I love that. I
A little
love
crazy.
her. They're saying en francés se llaman les sinsins de les. No sé pronunciar eso, perdón.
Mándate, mándate.
De los. No.
In your worst French, just to give it a shot.
De los pés.
L'espace.
Les pés. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna look if that's name.
And for me, totally different generation. So this is what's cool about us. We're completely different generations. So we get to have these conversations where both of us have no idea what the other one is talking about. For me, probably like He-Man and Thundercats, Transformers. That was my generation. G.I. Joe. You know, anything that's 80s. You know, boy from the 80s. That's me. That's 100% me. So any of those is just incredible.
Yes, and
For me.
it actually was Les Sinsins, the Les Pés or whatever that is. Yeah, and I found the name.
Déjamelos ver.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's terrible. I've
No, they
never
were
seen that in my
amazing.
life.
Espera,
I have never seen that in my
no sé
life.
si la persona que dijo se acuerda del intro. Era increíble. ¿Estos? Mira,
I've never seen them.
increíbles.
They look like a bad bubblegum, like,
No, they were good.
you know.
Oh, I also loved Cat Dog.
That one's funny.
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say the name in English. It's Space Goofs.
Space Goofs. Oh my. I have never heard you speak about Space Goofs.
Yeah, because I always talk about SpongeBob. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it was one that I loved when I was a kid. If anyone out there is maybe European, I think they were German or Belgian or something. I forget now. Or maybe French. Barba Papa, the Barba Papas. Yeah.
But that sounds familiar.
I think I've showed them to you. But that was on one of our...
Oh,
That was
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Channel 11 here in
you
Colombia,
showed me.
on our third channel, because we only had 3 channels. So that was on the third kind of more institutional channel in the afternoons.
Yeah.
After I got home from school, I would love Barabapapas because they had like a super weird house and they could just turn into anything. So loved them. Like I adored that cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much the same, Danny and me.
Yeah.
So I was able to sharpen that. Look at that. Why I didn't do this 2 hours ago? Oh, yes, I remember now why. Oh, right.
They're saying I had a turtle. She died paralyzed, and I've discovered she
Oh
was
my
a
God,
he.
what is going on with these,
No, but
dark
mine
turtle
also
stories?
paralyzed. It was horrible.
What? Is
Yeah.
that common?
Yeah, because no,
Yeah, let's not make it super sad, but
yeah, no, it was sad. And I remember that ¿cómo digo enterrar?
buried.
I buried her
Ajá.
in the front yard.
Como Chimuelo, como el video de Chimuelo.
Yeah.
Adiós,
No,
Chimuelo.
Había, no sé si te acuerdas los condimentos El Rey.
Sí, pues obvio. En una cajita, en una
No,
botellita de eso.
No, la tapa de
¿Le
los
echaste pimienta a
no,
ella?
No. La tapa de los condimentos El Rey era una corona.
Sí.
Entonces, para saber dónde estaban,
¿Pusiste la
yo
corona?
puse la corona y le escribí
No.
Franklin. Tenía 6 años, 7 años.
Sí, pero qué trauma.
No, 6 años. Y del colegio, me acuerdo siempre antes de salir, cogía una florecita
¿Y se la
y
dejabas?
se la dejaba antes de subir.
Como
a
de
la
entierro.
casa. Sí, muy
Y empezaron-
a mí me dio muy duro.
¿Te imaginas que animales chiquitos empezaran a vender mazorca al lado de donde estaba enterrado?
Porque era un conjunto cerrado, Nicolás.
Como que buses empezaran a llegar hasta ahí y gente empezara a vender tuzas.
But we were talking in English.
Como animalitos
Sí,
chiquitos.
sí,
Sí, pero nadie nunca va a entender
Condimentos del Rey.
o condimentos del rey o que en Colombia se venden mazorcas al lado del cementerio.
Sí, y son súper ricas. Fatal. Yeah, but they were saying that they had a turtle and she was paralyzed and they discovered she was a he. Yeah. I think mine was...
Are those things related? Like that
No,
it died
maybe
and that
when
they
he-
were paralyzed and then, because it was paralyzed. I'm not trying to make fun of any of this, by the way. It is a little funny, but did you discover that it was a he because it was paralyzed? I'm being
No,
totally
because
serious.
of the doctor. ¿Cómo se dice?
Oh, by taking to the vet, and the vet said,
yeah.
no, she's not
Yeah.
paralyzed. He's paralyzed.
Yeah. They're saying those are all.
Maybe the tortoise was just like Drax. She was moving really slowly, and she just couldn't answer. It's like, no, I'm not
No,
paralyzed.
That's a terrible thing.
I'm just very, very slow.
They're saying.
Oh,
Stop it.
I'm dying here. I feel your pain. I totally feel your pain, but it's a little funny. It would take me a really long time to determine if my turtle was paralyzed. It's like, isn't that like maybe my turtle is just really slow?
No, but that happened to mine, and she was super cold.
Could you imagine like a snail rushing in to say, no, she's okay. She's just slow.
No.
But he was there
stop
late.
it.
But he got there late with the
No.
message.
Terrible.
It's like, no.
No. They're saying those are all the best shows, Danny. Yes.
No Barbapapa fans for
no,
me?
someone said Barba Papa.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah.
Nice.
Thundercats are
Yeah,
the
best intro ever. Best
I'm
intro
surprised
ever.
they haven't done a big screen movie on them.
Yeah, or like a cool video game or something. Yeah.
I know.
This show you should watch. Whomever said Thundercats. Yeah. Let me just get my name right of the show. So Cassie Kuo, I think she's art directing maybe, or she's animating a show that is going to premiere. Let me see, February 4th on Amazon Prime, and it's called Vox Machina. And I think they premiered the intro on Comic-Con. That was last week. Oh, dude, you guys should watch that Vox Machina intro. It's like so Thundercats. It's so good. It's like really contemporary, kind of, anime inspired animation, like Western animation. It feels like, but so Thundercats. So good. Let me know if you watch that intro, and let me know if I'm totally off by saying that it's 100% Thundercats intro.
Ay, dicen, jajaja, yo también tuve una tortuga que se llamaba Franklin hasta que
No
mi
más.
primita la espichó y la enterramos en una
¿Quién la
cajita de
espichó?
fósforos.
¿Quién la
prima.
espichó? ¿La prima?
Ay, no, William Felipe. Lo siento mucho, siento tu dolor.
Esa prima suena como al meme de la niña que le sopló
O la
el...
niña de Nemo. Como de la
Sí,
bolsita.
pero o la niña que le sopló la vela a la hermanita y que después
Así.
le jaló el pelo. Uy, esa niña.
Sí, terrible.
Demonio anticristo.
I lived in an area while turtles roamed everywhere. One
Wow.
day we passed one on the road. My mom felt bad, so we returned to help it cross the road. Right when we got there, a huge semi-truck squashed it. No, Rosalind, that's so She says,
Oh my god.
right in front of us. My mom still hasn't recovered. That's terrible.
Oh, see, that's why you should never interfere with nature.
No.
Don't interfere. Never ever interfere. When we went to
No.
Menorca with Danny, Menorca also has like these beautiful tortoises, and they would always be in this
No,
section, and
yeah.
they would try to climb a wall
Yeah.
to try to get out, and Danny would try to help them, and I don't know if you remember, but
day?
I would tell you, don't do that. Like,
No.
don't interfere. Like, let nature be. Like, if they are strong enough to leave that place, it's because they are strong, but don't.
Yeah, no, but they were so beautiful, and they were like 100 of them.
Yeah. They
Yeah, I
were.
was
You
so
could tell that
happy
they were
because-
like. I don't know if they were wild or native to Menorca, but
And I think they were of the property we were staying in.
maybe,
Yeah,
or maybe.
No,
you know.
yeah, because I asked.
Oh, okay, Pedro.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so happy because turtles are my favorite animals. So, yeah, Rosalind says, ha ha ha, sorry, I had to share.
That's amazing.
No. I have a story of turtles. So, the mom of my grandparent. ¿Cómo se
So
dice
your
bisabuela?
great grandparent,
Great grandmother.
your great grandmother.
Yeah, she had a tortoise in a place here in Colombia that's called Flandes, and it was a big turtle. Like I remember, we when we were, I don't know, 5 years old, we ride the turtle, so she was humongous, and the entry to the house was, so there was the street, then the house, and then the backyard. And the backyard had concrete walls, like super tall concrete walls. And the turtle was always on the backyard. And they woke up one day. Oh, and she was super, super slow. And they woke up one day.
Are you sure she wasn't paralyzed?
No. And they woke up one day and she was gone. But the door was closed. The door from the house was closed. And she couldn't climb the wall. So that's like a super big mystery in my house because I don't know, como she was like, I don't know, 200 kilograms.
No, not that heavy.
Era así, mírame.
I know. I mean, I'm sure she was a very large
Okay,
turtle, but
100.
not 200
100
kilograms. You could
kilograms.
kind of pick those up.
No, but you could not pick her up. So, because
Well,
some
that's
of-
you saying when you were 5.
Yeah, no.
So
but
maybe
she
you
was
have
so
like a-
big because I remember that I would sit on the shell, and my sister too.
Yeah, but not like
No, she was-
500 pounds.
Yeah, but that was like the biggest mystery in my family
Yeah.
for a long time because
Nobody.
I don't know where she was.
Maybe it made sense the next day when they all had turtle soup.
No, Nicola.
But yeah, and they
No.
told you
No.
5-year-olds, yeah, we don't know where it went. But that was a good
because
lunch,
I
right?
wasn't there, but I remember that my grandparent told us, like, I don't know what's happening, but the turtle's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's closed. They're looking everywhere, and the turtle's gone, and she never came back. So yeah.
The OA.
No one's
The
saying
origin-
anything.
Yeah, no one's saying anything. I think they can sense that somebody ate that turtle.
Yeah, yeah,
Somebody had like really good turtle soup that night.
yeah. Oh, Rosalind saying someone stole the turtle. No, it was kidnapped.
Yeah, or they either stole it so they could eat it, or they,
But
you know,
but they had to enter the house,
right?
cross like all the house, all the rooms,
Yeah.
open the door to the backyard, go to the backyard, try to pick this humongous turtle, and try to
Which
walk.
you say that weighs 500 pounds.
Yeah, for me, yeah, 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, sure. This rhino of a
And
turtle.
But try to pick the turtle up and walk all the way across to the house again, to the street. No, yeah, it's a mystery.
Okay, so it's either that or the 500-pound turtle scaled the wall
Yeah.
and then just really and booked it. You know, because one thing is, oh my God, where's the turtle? But you probably can notice that she's gone for like 2 days and just peek out your window and she's like, oh yeah, she's walked like a block. In 2 days, she's managed to escape a block. So,
They're saying any Italian plumbers in the area? No, in Flanders, I don't think. Yeah. Dicen, creo
pues
que
Mario, ¿sí entendiste el chiste? Por
Sí,
Mario
sí,
Bros,
sí,
por
sí.
las tortugas.
Ah, no, la verdad no lo había. Yeah, that was a good one.
O sea,
but that
pensaste
was
como,
late. Yeah, I
no,
was
no
like,
sé,
huh?
italianos sí,
Yeah.
plomeros
No,
italianos, no sé
but
por
that
qué.
was a good joke. I didn't get it, but yeah. They're saying, ha ha ha, you need to storybook this turtle capper, Nicolas.
Or Danny does like great, you could do a children's book story of this,
Yeah,
the tortoise, the 500-pound tortoise mystery.
yeah,
That's a nice title.
yeah. Copyright. It's copyright now, so
Yeah.
if anyone tries to,
.com.
yeah.
It'll redirect to our Painted Lives.
Did you guys watch El Chavo del Ocho?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Every afternoon. Because it was always on TV.
Always.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah.
At any time, any hour.
El Chavo del Ocho and Padres e Hijos was
Sí.
always on TV.
We had, ¿preguntar en español o en inglés?
No, en inglés.
So we had a record. We had a record of songs from El Chavo del Ocho. We even had a record in my family. We used to play that.
Yes, they're saying yes, do a portrait of the turtle.
My sister Luisa, she I think out of all of us, she was the biggest Chavo fan. I think she knows everything, like all those episodes by heart.
But was El Chavo del Ocho in the United States too? don't
I think
so,
Televisa
yeah.
maybe or Univision or
¿Y Chespirito?
también, como cuando dan el Chavo daban todo.
Pues sí, siempre dos del Chavo y uno de Chespirito. ¿No? Creo que sí.
No sé, es
O
que
eso
yo
era
me
lo que
veía.
veía yo.
Sí, yo creo.
Ya apagaba.
No sé, yo creo que o sea, era no. Es que de pronto uno veía Chespirito.
No, yo veía.
Sí, porque uno cuando daban Chespirito, o de pronto uno veía Chavo y después también daban otro programa de Chespirito. De pronto, ya no me acuerdo muy bien, pero
Es que creo que sí, creo que lo daban seguido, pero sí. Have you guys watched El Chavo del Ocho? Maybe. So I'm gonna change a little bit the subject.
yeah, because it was dark.
Yeah. They're saying 200 kilograms were tortoise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the NFT space?
I've
Oh, sorry.
No,
Because
dale.
They were also asking, I'm trying to look for the question, but they were asking if the next chapter of our Painted Lives would involve NFTs or something like that. So,
I don't think so.
No, I
If I
don't
have to
think
be
so.
totally honest, I mean, and I'm not being closed to it. Like we said, our friend Victor Mosquera, he's super into it.
Yeah.
He's doing incredibly well. I think one of his pieces was being auctioned off at Sotheby's, and I've
Yeah.
seen him do, I think, over $100,000 or
And
$150,000.
he's super talented.
Yeah. They're beautiful pieces. I mean, it makes complete sense with the aesthetic of the sort of NFTs that are popular nowadays.
Yeah.
He just fits perfectly, amazingly into that space, and we are super happy for him. Honestly, I love him to bits, and I'm super proud of him and happy for him for all the success that he has. I just don't think that I mean, at least not in my case. I don't know if Danny would consider it with her own work, but
No.
in my case, I don't see it happening. I just don't. I think I would have to force it to try to make it make sense, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I don't like to never say never, but I just can't see it nowadays. I really can't see myself doing anything that is like that. If work in the future gets, I mean, if that starts to become a ubiquitous way of commercializing work, I don't think it is by any means nowadays. Um, I'm sure that at some point you're probably even like forced to consider it, but as far as like this beautiful animated image, if we take the more traditional kind of definition of NFT, so if you think about it as this kind of gorgeous looping, animated image, yeah, I just don't have the knowledge to do that. I mean, I could do a collab with somebody, and maybe that could work, but I just don't. I don't think so. It just doesn't come naturally to me, and I'm always very hesitant about things that don't come like super naturally to me that I would have to force. So yeah. Again, and I have no issue with NFTs. I have no issue with, not at all. I mean, I I mean, would you say I collect these figures, these statues or figures, Danny? Maybe a little bit.
Collect?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like crazy collector, but I
No,
like. But I
yeah,
think
you
I have
collect
enough.
them.
Yeah, but I think I have enough
But
that they would feel like a
yeah,
collection.
you do, but I was thinking that you don't collect them in the sense that you don't buy them for them to grow in price.
Oh no, I take them out of the package and I just
You
enjoy
just
them. Yeah,
you just watch them.
yeah. So, but you could argue that they are a collection, and I'm trying, like, my point, I guess, in saying that is that throughout history people have collected in so many different ways, and this is just a different way of collecting or investing in something. Like I was telling Danny the other day about, for example, people that buy like mint or near mint, like like Mario Brothers 3 cartridges, like NES cartridges, and some of them are like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that they're it's not like one person is buying this one cartridge and it's putting it in a vault, and they that's their prized possession, and it's almost like a museum thing. No, there's a lot of people now that are pooling money, and they are just coming together to invest on whatever. And maybe it could be like a sneaker, maybe it could be some Jordans, or maybe it could be like a video game cartridge or anything, or it could be an animated file for that is that's a work of art that you could exhibit through a 4K TV, like an OLED TV, and it looks really wonderful. Like, it could be so many things, but this kind of urge to collect or to invest has always been there. I mean, I'm super new to collecting like 1/6 toys or like statues, and the people that collect them, oh my god, they are like, I have a bunch of them, I would say, but the people that collect them are crazy, and they'll buy stuff like that and resell it almost immediately for like 75%,
Yeah.
or 175%, I would say, of the price. So they jack up the prices almost immediately. It's almost like what happened with PlayStation 5s, for example, that just people started buying them in bulk, and then reselling them for like twice the price. It's just another way that people make money. That's all it is. It's just another way of investing. And I guess NFTs, because of their nature being tied to cryptocurrency, they are that. They are openly an investment. Um, with art, you could always, kind of convince yourself that no, you're buying it. I would say that like 100% of the things that we buy are because that we enjoy them. I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever
No,
bought
ever.
something because this is gonna go up in price.
Yeah.
The only thing that we haven't
Yeah, I was
opened,
gonna say.
yeah, you could tell that story.
Yeah. So, I'm the kind of person that always buys presents like 6 months before, just to make sure I have the perfect present. And I bought a Lego that is from
NES, like an
NES, yeah, for Nicolas, and it was for August, and he gave the same Lego to me for my birthday in April. So we have the same Lego twice, and we didn't know what to do with it. So I think we're gonna.
The cool thing is
save
that
it.
we never said that we won. We always said, "Oh, that's so cool. That NES Lego is so cool with the TV." I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's so cool.
Yeah, but you never said, "Oh, I wanted," or me. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
said, "Oh, I want to have that Lego." No, anything.
No, we never because when you hear that, you always make like a mental note. Like, if your partner is saying like they like something, you're always like, oh, okay, let me make a mental note that they just said that they really like this, and that could always be like a good Christmas present or like a good birthday present. And we're both kind of like that, but I don't think we like expressly heard the other person say, "Oh, this would be like such a cool thing. Like this
Yeah.
would be so awesome." No, neither of us. And we both, like idiots, bought the same exact present for the other person.
And I remember it was so funny because in the day of my birthday, you gave it to me
Yeah.
and you said, close your eyes and just touch it and try to know what it is. And I touched the box and I almost fainted. I was like, is this the Lego of NES? And he was like, no, you're picking. And I was like, no, I bought the same for you. So, yeah, we're
So-
dumb that way.
Yeah, we're kind of stupid that way. So it's the only thing that we were like, you know what? Maybe 50 years from now, this is going to be super cool. So I think so that box unopened, it's at Danny's parents' house.
Yeah,
It's probably going to remain there for
10 years.
yeah. I don't know for how long, but it was cute. I thought it was like super adorable.
Yeah, me too. Do you invent shapes or planes that are invisible in the reference?
I think so. I think I push form constantly. So I always have like a ball just almost like abstracting shapes all the time. But I just love to do that. That's been, I think, my career or something that I've been interested in for as long as I know myself to draw or paint or to be attracted by form. I've always kind of imagined that form is just my starting point and then I can do anything I want with it. So yeah, for sure I do it.
Yeah. So Gabriel, who asked about El Chavo,
Yeah.
he says, "I'm from Brazil. Chavo is like a religion here." Yeah, here too.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hi Nick and Danny. I had a little bit of a failed attempt painting a la prima this evening. Ended up overworked and muddy. And I want to ask what your advice is for bouncing back tomorrow.
Just tell yourself that today was a learning experience. Don't just leave it. Don't just leave that description in your mind as, oh, it just ended up being overworked and muddy, and then you leave it at that. No, you have to tell yourself why. Why did I overwork it, or when did I overwork it, and what was I trying to do when I finally realized that I was past the point of no return. And if you kind of ask yourself those questions, they are wonderful kind of tools to encounter your next painting. So those are going to be the teachings that you get from your painting that you are going to be able to apply on your next painting. And that's super exciting if you think about it. Like, that's when a painting, even though you may call it a failed experiment, becomes this super super relevant painting because it left like a ton of knowledge, behind. And you have to be willing to pick up all those bits of information, all those bits of knowledge, and then put them to good use. But so what I would tell you is that what follows today is maybe saying, okay, what happened? Like, I know that it can be painful when a painting is, particularly frustrating, and you didn't see it as an enjoyable experience, and all you want to do is just throw it in the garbage, like, throw it in the garbage bin and forget about it. But try to give it like its due, and try to see worth in that experience, and you'll see that tomorrow you don't have to force yourself to try to counter all the things that you did wrong. Just know that they're going to be with you. Like, they are going to be in your mind when you're working. So you don't have to push so hard. But just if you are conscious of those things that happened, and you're really trying to figure out why they happened, they're going to be part of you. Like, that reflection is going to accompany you always. And the way in which you're going to learn from that painting is going to eventually manifest itself through other paintings. Like, trust me on that. That's always going to happen. But you have to do the hard work, which is you have to stay there with your painting for just a little bit longer and say, why the hell did you not work? Like, what happened? Like, what was I trying to do that didn't work? So that's super, super important.
Yeah, I would also say that maybe if the medium or the substrate allows it, you
Mm-hmm.
can scrape it, because I don't know, but for example, for me, sometimes having the previous drawing marks
Mm-hmm.
kind of like cage me
Yep.
into making again and again the same mistakes I did the day before. So maybe you could try to, like, have a great sleep today, and tomorrow, if you scrape it all, you can have a blank slate to go and do the painting that you wanted to do. Like, to not lose the reference that you wanted to paint. So yeah.
Right. I was supposing that maybe they were gonna kind of work on something new the other day.
Okay, yeah.
But no, you're totally right. Like, if it's a painting that they, even though I think she was referring to it as an alla prima painting,
No, but I don't know if it's a she.
or I'm sorry, or she was
Maybe
referring
you
to.
heard prima and you thought
But I don't know if they were referring to it as an alla prima painting, but which would make me think that maybe it was just like a one shot, like but you're totally right. Like, if it is a painting that is something that you are kind of stubborn and you want to paint it, and you know that it's going to take like a couple of sittings to paint it, like, totally, yeah, keep pushing. Maybe I've had to scrape out stuff, like Danny says, many, many times in larger paintings. And the only thing that I would differ from what Danny said was, like, when she said, try to have a good night's sleep. I don't think I ever had a good night's sleep when I had to scrape stuff out. Like, those things would haunt me like crazy. Yeah, those paintings would never, ever let me sleep. Like, my mind would be rushing like a million miles an hour. And all I wanted was for the night to go by quickly so that I could just go back to the painting and try to fix it. But what Danny says is true. Like, with fresh eyes, you many times see mistakes that and I'm going to call them mistakes, but or things that would keep you from getting closer to the original intent that you had. I would see those with clarity on the next day. Like, things that I was completely blind to would be super, super evident on the next day, which I don't know how to explain. Maybe you just get used to it. Maybe you have like tunnel vision when you're working. So it prevents you from really understanding what is going on. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Have you ever felt like crazy impatient when it comes to painting? Like being impatient about getting a good result in a very bad way? I feel like this a lot lately and don't know what to do about it.
Well, we've already established I'm the patient one, so I think I am
No,
the one
you're
who
not.
should answer this.
No, I think it's a tie. If you're okay with it.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'm big enough to say that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I know. I wish I could tell you that there's an easy answer. I don't know what Danny would answer to this, what her answer would be to this, but in my experience, I don't think there's an easy way out. You just kind of have to deal with it. You just have to know how to teach yourself how to be a little more patient. It just one of the exciting things about painting is that it just doesn't give away kind of its virtues or its answers so easily. Like, it makes you have to work for them really, really hard. And I know that that can be super tough to hear, especially in those moments where you are frustrated, especially in those moments where things just don't work out. But, arm yourself with the ability to try to recognize that, you need those things. You need to teach yourself those attributes. There is no other way. Or else life is going to be super painful, I feel. Like, those experiences are going to be really, really painful, in the future. So the I guess the quicker that you start convincing yourself that this is something that is going to be part of your life, this dealing with the frustration and trying to be patient and, trying to recognize what was good about a particular session or painting or group of paintings, that's just always going to be there. Always, always. You can't get rid of that. You can't outgrow it. You can't, learn how to deal with it. You just have to sort of admit that its presence is going to be there for the rest of your life, and it's going to be your company, and you just have to be okay with it, like completely okay with it. Like, patience maybe means just coming to terms with that, just being like, okay, this feeling, this kind of, I know, like, anxiety sort of driven feeling is just going to be part of me, and I have to be fine with it. I know it sounds weird and I know it sounds super tough, but there are no easy answers, I feel, in this regarding that aspect. I think there's no easy answers, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Callum, who asked about the Alla Prima painting that was not going
Mhm.
as he expected, he says, appreciate the advice, going to sleep on it and back at it tomorrow. I'm sure you'll see me in the next stream with more questions. Thank you
Awesome.
always.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and let us know how it went
Yes,
tomorrow.
please. And it could be, no, it sucked, or, it was terrible, or I woke up and I did a worse painting than the one I did
Yeah.
yesterday. Like, that's a regular day of painting, So I wish that, I'm very romantic sometimes when I say, oh, that's where you get all your answers, and if you pay attention, you'll be able to use them as this kind of these beautiful teachings, and they will guide you through the next painting. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, I've been doing like crap painting after crap painting after crap painting. Like, when is this kind of beautiful thing gonna happen where I learn from my mistakes, where I learn from my paintings that are ridden with frustration. I know. Again, I don't know if there's like an easy way of doing those things. So
I'm gonna do two questions in one.
okay.
So they say, does Nicholas feel as a purist, like with the technique, only pencils with pencils, oils with oils, etc.? And the other question related is from Liched. Hola Liched.
Yo, Nicolas.
He says, good evening, it's so nice to say hi and being hi back. Seconding.
Grande, Lich. Grande.
The last question. Do you plan on trying some mixed media drawings?
Oh, so yeah, so that's
It's related, yeah. That's
yeah. I don't know if I've done like a bunch of mixed media stuff. I mean, I used to do it when I used to paint on top of the photographs of the paintings that were super weird. I even added objects to some of the paintings.
Even the charcoal drawing.
Oh,
that
did you
think
find,
so.
or did you find there were other charcoals that there were nudes? There's this one of a man, of the back of a man, that has like a goja, I think,
Let me
like a
see.
cutout of a goja on top. Maybe you could find that. No, I think I used to be far more courageous with those things, or far more, yeah, just inquisitive about, possibilities in terms of broadening, those possibilities.
Is it
Before, yeah, that one.
this one?
Yeah, so is that a
Oh,
large?
but I can't.
Is
Wait.
it large? How large? Oh, but you're posting like smaller
Yeah, yeah,
images,
because
so
it's on screen.
okay,
So
so that's fine. So I think I used to be far more courageous for sure when I was a little, somewhat younger, or when my intent was a little bit different, I would say. And but I think it has to do with what I spoke about, just a little bit ago, that I I don't know if my decision to simplify, almost like my life, also reflected on the the choices to simplify my technique, and to just say, hey, I'm going to do paintings, and they're going to be one session paintings, and they're all going to be priced the same way, and most of them are exactly the same size, and this was all about kind of like simplifying, like eliminating tons of variables. I think that all those things are tied in my brain. Like they all are answering to one sort of single desire to just make things easier for myself. Not easier as in I just don't want to deal with variables, or I don't want to deal with anything that's difficult, but um, simplify it in the sense that I guess I started convincing myself that if I concentrated on my most basic, um, like the most basic version of myself, I would start to learn a lot more about who I was as a painter than if it was, if it was if I constantly bombarded my works with like different techniques or different ways of resolving them. And I'm sure that people can do those two things at the same time, but for me, maybe it was just difficult. It was just very difficult to try and rationalize those two. So maybe that's why they're tied together. Maybe that desire to understand myself fundamentally is the one that drove me to want to simplify a lot of variables in my life, I feel.
but we could maybe think about doing
Yeah,
think about that.
yeah, the thing is, I want to do it. If I'm going to do it, like, I want to do it well and not feel like it's very superficial.
Yeah.
So I would have to try to make sense of it. Like, what would that mean? Just doing multimedia. Is it just does it just have to do with using gouache and chalk, for example, like
Yeah.
gouache and chalk pastels, which are super kind of congruous,
Yep.
like there's a ton of harmony in those two, or is it using like photos and drawing, like mixing photos and drawing, or I don't know. I think I would have to find a reason for me for doing those things. So I don't know if you posted that one, the
Yeah, yeah,
drawing.
I did.
Okay, yeah. So that was more of like a very simple collage and charcoal drawing, and being like super expressive, almost like Antonio Saura. I feel like he would be. For a long time, he was like my reference, because he used to paint on top of postcards, and it used to be like super super cool. Um, but yeah,
They're saying which size is this paper? Seems very big.
the one of the this one.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. What size?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
we
it's
have
the
the
same.
size.
29 por 21 centímetros. Pero
Okay.
no sé.
So it's a little bit larger than letter.
Also, wait a minute.
What's the size that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that we put in the OPL, our website?
So the size of the paper is 8.25 inches, is it?
Yeah, I'm always like
And
it.
11.5.
I'm always like
inches.
approximating, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Um,
So the moleskin rewards that we did for the book. For the book were actually about half this size. They are those were like regular small moleskin sketchbook size.
Yep.
These are like I always cut my paper, but these are like half the size of the larger moleskin pad. Just to give you an idea.
Hola, have you ever done a mural painting? How was the experience?
No,
Like,
no.
you
I
have-
know they are super hot right now, and almost like every single painter that paints has done a mural. Not me. No, I haven't had the opportunity, and I would say I just wouldn't know how to go about it. I've never even like spray painted anything, so I'm not saying that you have to use spray paint. I could use paint, but just to give you an idea of my ignorance regarding like urban painting. So
So I'm trying to look for more questions.
like Drax also. He looks like Dave Batista. Well, I think I went a little too Batista on this, on my Fury.
Yeah, but I'm still seeing Ben Meredith.
Yeah, yeah, he was there from the start. He's not gonna leave.
Yeah. Mm. No, I don't see. So I remember someone asked about. Oh, here it is. What kind of music do you like? Do you guys like?
So Danny can start. Danny's more.
No, but I don't listen to music that much. I mean, we're not the kind of people that put music on the house and just hang.
Yeah,
No, we don't.
yeah. I think Danny was like super closer to that because she used to bartend, and she used to bartend first in sort of
Rock.
like a rock, not super hard rock, just like rock, like regular. No, it wasn't like super hard.
No, no, no. I wasn't.
Oh,
gonna say-
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like yeah, like a rock. I was gonna say a rock, but it's not a pub.
It felt
It's a
more
pub bar.
yeah, it was like a pub bar, not quite a pub, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then Danny used to work in a reggaeton.
No, no, because I went from the rock one to another one that had a live band with champeta. I don't know.
Yeah, that one's
I
that's
think
terrible.
No one knows.
No, maybe they do.
Yeah, but they had champeta and what we call here crossover.
Mhm.
And then I went to the last one, which was of reggaeton. So at that time, I had a lot of reggaeton songs stuck in my head.
And in my head too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And on the speakers, they were stuck on the speakers all the time. Yeah, but yeah, I like reggaeton, but I don't listen to it that much. I mean, and I was going to answer like the typical answer that is like
Anything?
We like anything, yeah.
Yeah,
But
anything
I
is
think
good.
that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. How did you start your career in
Yeah, but
art?
we're not. I would just say that we're not like a couple that you open our apartment door and there's Radiohead. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing
no.
like that. Like there's no music.
But we're not against Radiohead. That's
No, no,
also
no.
the
That's
thing.
totally yeah. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But no. But we find. I guess we find. I used to. Like I used to all the time have music playing when I had like a studio and when I was painting by myself. And you know what it is maybe that when I'm by myself, if I was by myself, like that's what kept me company in many ways. And this was also like pre podcasts and pre
Yeah, I was gonna say that because
yeah, and maybe that sort of ruined us.
yeah.
But because we keep each other company like almost like 24/7. I don't know how we do it, but we do it
Yeah.
and we're super happy with it.
Yeah.
Like we don't complain.
Yeah.
We actually feel like we're we're almost like it's almost like we're meant to be this close to each other.
We are meant to be
Um, yeah, you're not. Don't reinforce it. Like that sounds weird.
I'm
But
sounding crazy. We are meant to
a little
be
clingy, a little too clingy, Danny.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's freaking me out. Like I actually messed it. I actually messed one of my strokes here while you were saying that. So
Yeah.
please. No. Because we have each other's company, maybe there's no need for that. I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from, for example, people that just adore their music, because I know plenty of artists that just, they need their music while they're working. And they'll have a show. They'll, for example, listen to like the Kanye album that just came out. Like, oh my God, it's been on repeat for like the past 5 days.
Yeah, but I was
And I'm always
that
like,
person
I don't,
before.
I've never been that person,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm the type of person that repeats one song like 24/7 until I get tired of the song. Or I was that person, so yeah. Yeah, but I get what you say, because sometimes when you have to travel to do a workshop, I turn on the TV and put some music to feel like I'm not alone. Sometimes, no, it's not like always and I'm crying. No, of course
Yeah,
not.
yeah, right.
But
Try to save it.
yeah, but I get it. Like sometimes because we are always together, we don't need to like feel that kind of void, maybe. Yeah, and we also listen a lot of podcasts. So and also I listen to music when you're gone, because I listen to many true crimes. So then I get scared
Mm-hmm.
and I have to listen to music to calm down. So yeah.
Do you when I'm not here, do you find yourself like dancing more, like when you're alone you dance more like in front of the mirror, or
No, I
you
don't dance in front of a mirror.
or you put it like super loud because I'm not here?
Mm, well, I remember the last time I was organizing the closet when you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I put Dua Lipa in
Mm-hmm.
the tiny concert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was so into it, and I didn't organize the closet, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, so I had
Nice.
to turn it down.
That's why when I came I had to organize the closet. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that I think I'm more of a person that sings with the music.
Oh God. Thank God I'm missing that when
yeah,
I'm going.
yeah, because you love my voice,
Oh yeah.
awesome voice.
That's why I told you, if you remember the intro to that, if you remember the song, you should just sing it a little bit for us,
no,
just a little bit.
no,
It's so good.
no, no. They're saying, how did you start your career in art?
I guess career-wise, I was working at a mural painting studio when I was still in school at SVA. It was called Evergreen Painting Studios, and I worked there for a little bit, a while. I don't know. It felt like a while. And after that, I started at an illustration studio. It sounds very weird because it sounds very old school. I don't think there's many places like that. I don't think there was many places like that in the U.S. when I started working there. But a very good friend of mine, Marilena, was working there, and I had pretty much lost my job at the mural painting studio, and I had nowhere to go. And I just gave her a call, and she was like, "Oh, they're hiring here because somebody just left. Just show up with your portfolio." And I had never done a storyboard in my life. I had never worked with markers, like with Copic markers in my life. That's what we used. And they gave me like 2 weeks trialed, like 2 weeks paid trialed. And they liked what I did, and they were like, "You're hired." And that was my job in New York until I decided that I wanted to leave because I wanted to be a painter. So that's after that, I painted. I showed in galleries. I was lucky enough to do very well with the shows. And then they offered me a job at the university, at La Javeriana, at the fine art faculty of that university. And I took that job, and I was there for 12 years. And at the same time, I would have shows and I would still paint. It was a little more difficult, I guess, to do those two things at the same time. But I made an effort and I tried to make it like a point that I would still make paintings and that I would still be part of shows. Again, it was, it wasn't super easy to do after I said yes to that job, to that teaching job, because I was there every day and it was very, very demanding. But yeah, and now we have a YouTube channel where we don't know how what was the name of that chat?
Super chat.
Super chat works. So we are very much on top of things.
Yeah, and I know the name because I wrote it.
Okay, but you already
Yeah,
forgot it,
yeah,
right?
no.
If you had to,
Yeah, of course I would. So Rosalind said, I repeat as I listen, white noise. Mm, sorry, I didn't understand Rosalind.
I guess what she listens to when she works, maybe white
Oh,
noise.
yeah, white. Oh, we tried with white noise to
But for
sleep.
sleeping, yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't work. No, it's terrible.
For me, it did.
No, for me it didn't.
But
It's
because
terrible.
I can sleep.
Well, you can sleep through a
in
hurricane.
construction,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm, you know what is killing me right now? That with my shoulder hurting, like when I turn, every time I turn in bed, I wake up because it hurts. So, yeah, it's getting to the point where it's like super annoying now, and I already like for me to go to the doctor is I don't usually go to the doctor,
Yes.
and I'm considering it because it's just annoying. It's just so annoying now. I just don't like to feel that I can't get better by myself, like on my own, and it's just beginning to feel that way. So, it's very frustrating. I don't know.
Yeah, so Rosalind says that she repeats music or songs. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
that kind of person.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I also repeat the series that I watch
Oh
when
yeah.
I paint or draw.
Yeah, when Danny likes something, she'll be like, "Yeah, this is what I like."
Yeah, but it's also because if I'm watching a series that I haven't seen before, and it's a series that I don't know if you
A series.
understand a series. Sorry, I don't know if you don't understand what I'm going to try to explain, but it's a series that that has a lot more of acting than talking. Like you have to pay attention more. I don't know. Nicolas is making a face to me, but
No, I get it. I get it.
yeah. But at that kind of series, you have to pay a lot more attention. So then I realized that I don't know, 2 hours have passed by, and I have done 2 strokes. So yeah, so I used to repeat series like Modern Family all the time for painting. So
Or
yeah,
or like Gossip Girl.
no, because it's not available in here in
Oh,
Colombia now. But yeah, I used to repeat Gossip Girl, and also I used to no, I watch a lot of true crime docu series, but because they talk a lot, so I don't have to watch the screen that much. You never watch anything when you're
no, I can't do
painting
that.
or
No.
yeah.
No, if I'm painting, like I'm solely painting. And many times I I don't want to listen to anything. Like I don't know. Sometimes Danny walks in and she's like, "Oh, you're not listening. Like something happened. Like you're not listening to anything." And I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Totally fine."
Yeah, so once again trying to look for more questions. Leech says Gossip Girl was my jam until season. The Prince season started. What's the Prince season, Leech? ¿Qué es eso? Ni idea.
Until the ¿qué
The
dice?
Prince
El príncipe o como el príncipe?
season.
Oh no, I
Started.
don't know what that is.
No sé qué es eso, pero sí.
Es que yo no sabría tampoco porque
Pero Gossip
nunca me he
Girl
visto.
es mi jam también.
O ¿cuál era la tuya?
¿Cuál?
La telenovela esa.
Awkward.
No, la de
Awkward era.
la
Ay, Jane the Virgin.
Jane
Yeah,
the
it was-
Virgin. Oh
it
my
was super
god.
good. It was super funny.
well, I'm not gonna say anything because I mean, I watched it indirectly with you, but I'd never watched an episode, but I heard all the episodes.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't know.
Terrible.
Maybe they're going to quit the
The stream.
the stream. Yeah.
No, but it's also I think that we also are about to finish because I think I'm done ish. Maybe.
Yeah. So someone is asking, Danny, are you a painter? Can you show or tell us where you can see your works? Yeah. So I would say I'm an artist.
Like a visual artist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to. I was talking about it a little bit more before, but I'm trying to use more my social media. So if you want, you can search for my username in Instagram. I'm gonna type it for you. It's Daniela OCMP. And yesterday, I think, I uploaded a little painting that I did, and I am going to try to upload a lot more. So if you want to check them out, that would be awesome. Mm, what is your favorite Beatles song? They ask.
Beatles.
Yeah.
It has to be Strawberry Fields,
Yeah.
right? For
Yeah,
me,
but
it's Strawberry Fields.
But we talked about that the
Yeah,
last time.
just like it. I just feel
Yeah.
that it's I mean, it's. I don't even know if it's cliche-ish. I don't care, but
No, but that's a good song.
I think it
I
is.
like it. Yeah. Mm,
Danny, I think I'm almost gonna be done.
yeah.
Almost.
I don't know if you want to talk about something.
Yeah, just to finish, like
Okay, okay.
what the drawing was kind of felt like, or let me do a couple of little things, and I think I'm gonna be done.
Yeah. Oh, so Lich says when the prince started dating the blonde one. Yeah. No, but it was the brunette one. No. In Gossip Girl. Yeah. Yeah. Sí, Lich, te confundiste.
Lich, no
Te
juegue con Dani,
confundiste.
por favor.
Sí.
Eso es
Sí,
ese programa es una fortaleza de ella.
cuidadito.
So, okay, let's try to finish this by sort of recapping what I thought was going to happen at the beginning and what eventually ended up happening. Because I'm going to leave it there. I think it's kind of cool. So we've already established that because of this little guy, we couldn't really reach the potential that the drawing had. We have to thank Danny for that. So thank you, Danny. You know, you found your way once again to just ruin one of the drawings. Yeah, thank you. No. I think again, I just got a little lost on that ear and maybe on the pushing of the expression. Maybe it was the Ben Meredith at the beginning that also threw me off. I don't know. No, but I guess, if there's one thing that I always try to push with specifically these drawings is that I always start as, trying to be faithful or trying to be at least respectful of whatever it is that I'm seeing. And I can always sense the point where, I see myself just drifting off into some weird direction. And that weird direction can take me tons of places. Sometimes it's very weird distortion. Sometimes it's about pushing one single aspect of the drawing. Many times I lose the likeness, in the midst of all that, trying to figure out what I'm doing. Sometimes I end up stylizing the drawing too much, and it just becomes a little too shape heavy, which are, I think all those things are fine, honestly. Like if you are open to all those things, like those are totally fine. I think that the drawing would start to become ineffective if the only guiding light for the drawing, if the only thing that you were saying to yourself was like, oh, this is a drawing that has to be about Tyson Fury. Like, the New Yorker hired me to do a kind of small illustration of Tyson Fury because they're going to do a story about him. So I have to make sure that it just looks like him, it feels like him. That's the whole point. Not that at the New Yorker, like all the little cartoons or portraits actually look like the people that are in the articles. But anyways, But I don't know. It was a very organic thing that I kind of got lost in a lot of these little gestures, I feel. I tried to not make it redundant because I was getting lost. I think the drawing started to become about something else when I started adding that purple, that kind of mauve-ish color. So that was kind of interesting. I like that there's structure, and then it just becomes kind of softer and softer with the beard. Not that I couldn't have given the beard just more structured, but I usually think of hemispheres in my drawing, or like quadrants, or I always try to slice it in some way, and I have to have a really good reason if I want the same thing to happen up top and then happen at the bottom. To be iterated in the bottom. So, if I sense that there's something a little bit harder, sharper up here, then I want to do something softer in the bottom. But I kind of liked it. I feel that at times I really did feel lost, like I wasn't anchoring my drawing on anything, and perhaps that's why I always went back to the nose to see if that would work. But I guess I'm happy with it. I'm always satisfied with where I finish my drawings. It's I'm always self-critical, but I'm always satisfied with what happened with the drawing in the end. So I think I'm bound to always kind of feel that feeling, to have that feeling, regardless of what I do. But I kind of like it. I thought I was gonna do something far more expressive, but I also think that it would have been super hard to just push for the sake of pushing in a photo that's already like super, super expressive. I mean, the way the face contorts, especially, for example, when the boxers are getting hit, or getting punched. Oh my God, the deformations, the sort of natural deformations that come from a punch, they're not even Bacon-esque. Like they're really farther than anything Bacon could imagine. They're incredible. So sometimes I feel like what is there is maybe enough, and just my job is just to traverse, sensibly through all of that. So in that sense, I think it was kind of cool. I mean, he looks like a warrior, like the beast that he is. I like, if you guys are because Danny asked me about this, his mouthpiece, his mouth guard says Nigeria, and people speculate, but because AJ, Anthony Joshua's family's from Nigeria, and they've always wanted to have a fight, like a Joshua and Fury fight, and they're both British. I think that's him just trying to to speak to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, if you look at him, AJ, if you look at him, he is like you would imagine that he should be the person that unifies all belts, all titles, because he just looks like an unbeatable boxer. And, for some reason, he just loses fights that he should win. But I'm guessing at some point they're going to throw so much money at their faces that they're going to be able to fight, and they're going to both be even more millionaires than what they are. So I thought it was a nice touch. Like, he had it. I think he had it for this mouthpiece. He had this mouth guard. He had it for the second Wilder fight, if I'm not mistaken. So, and ever since then he's had it. But yeah, I think it was a cool painting. I think, again, we are slightly drawing. Yes, sorry, thank you. I think we are slightly pushing things from day to day. And I'm not saying that day 5, I'm sorry, we're going to push the hell out of that drawing. But I'm probably going to give myself or grant myself a ton of liberties on Friday. And we'll see how that goes. But for today, kind of gnarly. You know, what I said at the beginning, it was Ben Meredith meets God of War. I think, Kratos is in there and Ben is definitely in there. So any shout outs to the Meredith family, like I'll gladly do because they're both amazing. So that's it. I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys. Awesome having your company once again and feeling super, super grateful that we could be your company for this afternoon. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you and see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.